Scott Young don't like that.
Yeah, he'll get over it.
Do whatever you want, man. Get into your vibe.
Yo, I still can't. Sorry, real quick. I still can't get over Power and this dude being gay, the middle son.
I knew you was gonna do something funny.
Why? Who cares?
Not that I don't care, but it's just like
I didn't even watch that yet. Y'all can't drop those on here.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah, y'all got
damn, my bad for the American people. Yo, Josh, do your hosting gig, man. Who we got with us today?
Yo, so we got a special guest with us, man. It's our guy Triz. You know what I'm saying? He's a close personal friend with Dot, but obviously over the years we come to know him. A good brother, very good businessman, and he's gonna come in and we're gonna touch on some topics that you know we kind of graze over, but we usually don't touch on. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna lend us some of his expertise. You know what I'm saying? Very, very welcome. You know what I'm saying? Very happy to have him. You know what I'm saying? So welcome onto the show, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate y'all having me, man.
Yo, you know the scenery looks crazy back there. Okay.
Say it again.
The scenery looks crazy back there.
Oh no, man, I'm in the basement, bro. Don't be fooled. I'm in the basement. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fooled. This is probably the first project we ever did, matter of fact. So that's a cool one too. This one literally I laid the towels on this floor, bro. So again, don't be fooled, man. This is this one.
Definitely. So I guess we could start there.
Welcome, man.
Yeah, man, I guess we could start there. Just real quickly, man, like we started to speak about you know, Rhode Island Housing has a program currently where they give you $10,000 down and 0% interest for first-time home buyers. So, you know, all at different levels in the home buying game and process. Some of us only just got a home or only had a home for a couple of years, but you've been doing this for a little bit. And I kind of wanted you to speak on some of the benefits and then maybe some of the pitfalls too for people from our community in terms of owning homes and first steps and what they should be doing.
Yeah. So, you know, and even with that one, like I'll do you one better, right? So like just the fundamental of everything, just to lay the groundwork, and this is just universal, like everything that we see and touch as a people, like again, it fundamentally comes around real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like the job you work in is in an office. That's commercial real estate. The house you live in, that's residential real estate. When you start to get into everything beneath that is where it just determines like where you want to fall. Now, when we talk about like why, like we as a people, right? Like why it's important to me, it really just comes down to a simple point. End of the day, for what you pay to rent, if you're willing to sacrifice and do a couple things right, you can own. And then furthermore, on top of owning, you can go ahead and if you're willing to do a little bit of work and be a landlord, you can collect rent, which will offset your expense of your actual mortgage and allow you to live, you know, at a much lower price point than you actually rented. So real numbers, right? So say I got an apartment, I'm in Boston, right? Apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, probably run me $2,000. I can go buy a house. I got to save money, obviously, but you can get in the house for 3.5% down. Okay. So, you know, you go ahead, you save your money, you get in the house, your monthly mortgage on like, call it like a $400,000 house is like $2,000 a month. But the trick here though is it's a 2-family. So now I got a 2-family, I rent 1 floor. It was a 2-bedroom apartment I'm renting. We already know what that runs is $2,000. You know what I'm saying? In this example, you know, say it was $1,600 for the 2-bedroom. Now you're getting $1,600 a month in rent and you're only putting up $400 to live in the house that you live in. Now, when we talk about like, number one, that's the cash flow benefit. So what people lose sight of is like, yo, like you got to remember, you used to live life spending $2,000 a month. Now you're only actually spending $400. So if you're really willing to sacrifice and live life and say like, yo, I'm trying to get to the next level, you equivocally could save that $1,600 that you used to spend on rent. So, you know, for me, it's like, it's a compounding factor of like, yo, like you're going to sacrifice for a little bit up front to save that capital and get into it. But on the back end, it's endless. And the cream on the top of it all is like, yo, it's yours. Like, there's nobody that can tell you what to do, and there's nobody can do any of that. But you know, when we start to talk about like economics, which, you know, a lot of people shy away from it because they just think the conversation is too in depth, but the economics of it is simple. The areas you live in, that we live in, that we've been subject to, fundamentally, you typically start to see gentrification because the way everything was set up in urban settings was we were put into the cities and then, you know, everybody else went to the suburbs. As things started to come together, you saw that the cities developed. It was a place people wanted to be. How can I get downtown faster? How can I get a train? Oh, I'm just an Uber ride away. So it became a thing of like, oh, this is actually the place to be. Now, here's the issue, is you look at like Providences, you look at like Roxbury, look at Dorchester. These are places that we were subject to for the longest. Now, here's the onus. Nobody wanted ownership. You didn't want to buy the house, you just wanted to rent. Now, when, you know, gentrification happens, or what most are going to refer to as white America, which people don't really understand, gentrification is not just white people. You know,
Yeah, it's class.
It's class. Yeah. So people come in and say, look, that house in Dorchester, that house in Providence, I'll pay a premium for it. I don't care about the price point. I value it. So now when you buy the house that used to be $200,000 for $400,000, the local community is going, yo, what's going on? Why are they doing this? Why is the rent going up? Well, rent's going up because it costs me more to own the house, which means I need to charge you more to live in it. And, you know, so what happens, my biggest thing in is like, yo, we got to come off of the defensive and understand like, yo, this is a macroeconomic game. And it's like, yo, if you want to be in the game, you got to take a step and like, you got to want to have a foot in it. So like, for me, it's like when people say like, you know, like why? It's like, yo, like I got a kid. My kid's got to go to school. Understand the circle of money, economics. The school is funded based on your tax dollars. Tax dollars, everybody thinks that they think it's a tax on your paycheck. No, sir, it's your property tax dollars. Okay, so like if you live in, you know, Cranston, the property tax you pay on that, that's going to Cranston. That's going to that community. That's going to fund the schools that you live in. When you rent, yes, the dollars essentially go back to it, but it's not the equivocal same. Okay, unoccupied homes kill areas. People don't understand that. So when I get into it and I'm like, oh, you just flip homes and make, no, I want to turn homes over because I'm actually helping my community. I can choose who I sell to. You know what I'm saying?
Triz, before you lose that thought process, because you're dropping gems right now. I can't.
Yeah, I had to get that one off, yo.
Nah. That was dope. That was dope and very beneficial. Just so you don't lose that thought process. What do you think goes on in the minority thought process of why they're so hesitant to get, you know, so accustomed to just renting out and afraid to go into, you know, owning a home or putting that type of responsibility? Obviously,
one, man.
People know I come from Chad Brown. My mom owned the house. I was down the street. But, you know, I know a lot of hood legends who just comfortable being in the hood and, to me, have the funds to go do everything that you're talking about. But what do you think is the hesitancy overall in, you know, you being in this field?
It's knowledge, man. It's knowledge. A lot of this stuff, man, like it's not necessarily just in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not how many people you know you could touch and say, yeah, I know he owns a home. You know what I'm saying? So there's that first piece. I think there's a limited number of us that are doing it, but I also think there's an ownership. There's a lack of onus to say like, I need to go do this. Google, like, phone's in your hand. If you want to own a home, you could do it all from your phone. You could learn everything you need to know. You could find every house you want to find. But, you know, when I give it to you and if I ask you like, yo, tell me the hottest club tonight, they can go use the phone and go do that. I think it's prioritization. I think it's timing. I think it's those things, man, to be honest. But I really come back to, I think it's just like, you know, I say this all the time, but like, imagine playing a game, right, for your life and you don't know the rules. Your life's on the line and you're just out here, you're just moving around. You don't know the rules. You're not stopping and say, yo, how does this work? What's the rules on this? You know what I mean? Like that part of curiosity, you know, and I think we do have a lot on our plate to your point, you know, but I think it's onus, man. I think we got to own that and go do it because it's doable, man. If you could rent a home, you could buy a home, in my opinion.
So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this, right? So, you know, you took it like, you know, third level real quick. Just really quickly, like, what are some of the first things that a person should especially like, you know, maybe like the under 35 crowd, the under 30 crowd, in terms of like, hey, I want to be, you know, in a year or two, I want to start owning a home. You know, what are some of those steps that they should take to like put themselves in position in order to get a home?
You know, I'd say like 5 easy steps, right? So the first one is you're gonna have to identify where you want to be, right? Now that thing is important because the very next step is where you can afford to be, right? So those are two different things. But the difference here is that you got to identify that gap, so you know where you can what types of houses you can afford to be in, and then obviously where you would want to be. The next thing is understanding like where your capital is and like how much money you need to save to get to the price point you need. So if I say, oh, I want to buy a $300,000 house that's over here, and I don't know, it might be in downtown, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just know where you want to go. You take that, you say 3.5%. Very easy. It's 3.5% down. You got to have a minimum 680 credit score, and then they're gonna look at your debt to income ratio. So all you gotta do is be able to say, this is how much income I get every month. These are the expenses I have every month. The win with this is it only counts actual expenses that hit your credit report. So like your daycare doesn't count, like your car insurance don't count. All these things that people get lost in, they don't count. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of like, do I have credit cards? What's the minimum payment? That's that. How much do I get a month in checks? And that's that. So once you check those 3 boxes, the federal government gives you a mortgage at 3.5% down as long as you have the capital. You know what I mean?
So what about this notion, and I can't lie, for a long time I was just hearing it, these banks, these lenders, these credit unions, this whole notion that they don't like to approve minorities because of the stereotypes of irresponsibility or, in that regard. Is that something that in your practices still go on? Do you see that? Like, obviously I know you got to look at it from a different lens, to keep it real with, your client or whatever the case may be. Have you seen some of those struggles just in regards to that?
Honestly, I haven't, man. Like, look, man, I've orchestrated deals on houses and nobody ever saw my face. You never even knew me. You saw a name. You never even, so the notion of that, I think that, previously, maybe there was some space for that. I don't disagree. I could see how that could happen in certain situations. The way that the market's set up now is like, again, like I just closed on a house on Friday. I never saw anybody in the process. You know what I mean? Like it was completely over the phone. So I think there's a part that's not really the case. I think what happens though is that a lot of times people are misinformed. And this is a consistent theme that I have, with our people as a collective of just like, ownership. Just take it like, I just missed a step. What's wrong with that? Just like know that and go fix it. What do I need to do? For me,
I think
it starts there.
I think that's a big thing, just kind of listening. And obviously, like, me and you, Troy, we had a lot of conversations about this, but I think the biggest takeaway from this that you said is the key word is knowledge and like, wanting to give back to your community because, for instance, like, a lot of things that I saw from people in my community is just like, I don't think they necessarily have the correct knowledge on what it takes to buy a home, to like, own something. So I know I've had conversations in the past, like, like you're going to buy a home. Home is not what it's all made up to be. And there was like this meme going around of like the cost of living of a home and taxes in California. So I'm like, you can't really kind of equate that to every state. Like Rhode Island's going to be different. Massachusetts is going to be different. So I went as far as to say like, listen, for instance, these are my taxes. This is what I pay. And it gets escrowed all into one account and it's spread out throughout the course of the 12 months. So I think that if you could kind of just touch on that, like, for someone that is maybe hesitant for that regard, I think also as far as renting, you like, it's laid out for you. Like you have a lease. This is what you have to pay every month. Yeah. You're done. Just make sure the money's there. Whereas a home, it's a little more responsibility. So what would you suggest for someone that's kind of hesitant in that regard?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Don. So I think, if you're hesitant in that regard, I think it really just comes back to a fundamental piece of just taking the time to learn it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the biggest purchase you'll likely ever make in your life. You know what I'm saying? That's realistic. You know what I mean? But I think it's not something that's uncommon. When you really look at it, every single thing, it has an owner, which means it's doable. And I really go back to like, bro, like, what all four of us are on here right now. Anything y'all can do, I can do. Anything I can do, y'all can do. That's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, is the steps a little different? Maybe. But at the end of the day, it's attainable. It's completely attainable. I think it's just about, again, understanding what's happening. And I think this goes back to grade school, man. I talk about all the time, like, the fear to stand up and say, yo, I don't understand that. Yo, can you repeat that? Can you go? That we got to get rid of. That's just like a fundamental just groundwork. Like being the kid in class to ask questions, we got to stop making that the class, like that's the kid we're making fun of. Because at the end of the day, the inability to have that skill set to say, yo, I don't understand that, I need you to clarify that, that will inhibit you in life in a lot of ways. You know, and I think as a collective, to your point, that's where that goes is asking questions. But I do agree with you. I think we got to look past surface level information when teams start going around. I hate those things, man. I hate them because people start and stop on that. It start like it's just a gross generalization. It's like I go like, well, what if the meme went around that said rent was $6,000? You would question that and say, oh no, it's not. You know, and that's that. I think you got to take it the same way.
And that's why I'm so proud of kind of what you're doing right now with your, which I want you to get into next, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's called the AIP series. And we need kind of, when I was kind of having that conversation with you, me, Josh, and Zine was doing with the podcast, and I was kind of trying to say like, yeah, if you need me to repost, or you kind of have to move towards that social media thing because there's so much false information out there. And when you see people that like look like me, look like you, that's like, you know, we're relatable, and you see that you're doing it, you can think, okay, if he's doing it, I can do it too, or let me follow the guidelines he's doing. So I just kind of think it's necessary to like get our podcasts out there, get our information out there, especially if we know what we're talking about. So before, like, you know, we transition, if you just want to kind of explain what AIP is, and let's give everybody who's watching, like, you know, some knowledge on that.
Yeah, for sure. So AIP is all intensive purposes. It's a real estate series that I kind of curated during COVID. And the backbone of it, honestly, is fundamentally grassroots. I was just on Instagram one day, and I got in questions about real estate. So I just did like a post, like, yo, asked for the question. Before the day was out, I probably had like 35 questions, which for me, I honestly was like, yo, what? Like, there's just many questions. And so I kind of just, you know, somebody was like, yo, why don't you do a Zoom? Like, blah, blah. So, you know, I did a Zoom, and then it really just kind of took off. You know, here we are 3 months later, and, you know, what, 4 months later now, and we're at 100 subscribers to it. And that's all organic. You know what I mean? It's not anything I push. And I even went a step further I just closed on a house Friday, a 3-family in New Bedford, 11 beds, 3 baths, that I'm actually going to highlight the entire project all the way through. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to literally open it up. I'm going to show it and let people see, like, yo, this is what goes into it. Granted, a bigger scheme project, but the platform was curated to give people a real place, a real person. Like, you know me, like, you literally walk around with me, and it's made to really make things attainable, man. But I think exactly what you guys are doing here with this platform, I love it. I think it's great. But I agree. I think that these type of outlets that exist amongst us, you know what I'm saying? It's not about like, yo, can we go national? That'd be great. Like, I'd love to see it. But that we can't measure the size of the prize by the size of the followership. It's the impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all got 200 viewers, if you have 20 viewers, that's the impact. You're touching 20 people, man. Like, touching one person is amazing, bro. Like, so, you know, I agree, man. I think that's huge, and we kind of you know, lean in on that more, to your point.
Before we leave that, can you talk about the importance of credit, how someone can start building their credit, and this whole notion of, man, I got bad credit because my mom put the TV in my name when I was a kid. You know, that's always the hood #1 excuses. And it's true in a lot of instances, you know what I'm saying? But the importance of credit, how one can start building credit, and why is that such significance of walking into a lender to, you know, get that approval?
So A fact. So I always start with this one, right? Zim, is I say like, yo, when we talk about credit, Dot wants to borrow $100. How many people can Dot tell me that that have lent him $100 and he repaid them? The more people you can do to do that, the more likely I am to lend you your money. It's very simple, very black and white. In the same scenario, when you borrow money from people and then you don't pay it back, that's a derogatory mark. So again, that's why the credit is so important, because it's your reputation, it's your resume of how you handle money. Second part to your question of how, like, what's the value in it? The value in it is you no longer have to have all the cash today to do something. And like, there's an intrinsic value in that, if people understanding that, look, we understand you have a job. You're only going to get paid X amount of money for X amount of time done. So every 2 weeks, every week, every month, whatever your pay scale is, but you may need to buy some things that need a larger lump sum of money. These are the people that can allow that for you. The biggest thing, and I've made decent money on this, is OPM, other people's money. It's been good. I've had a good business plan. I've gone out, you've lent me money. I've done it. I've paid you back your money, and I've made my returns, and I've snowballed it. But to build credit, I mean, this is one of the simplest things, and I charge people with it. Like, as soon as your kid is old enough, it's, adding them as authorized users to your credit card. Again, authorized user does not mean they have to have a card. You could be on my credit card and not actually have a physical card, and build your credit. So it's that step. The second step is just fundamental ways to improve credit, right? And I'm not going to give a spiel on it, but I will say this. Every time you go to use your debit card or you go to use cash, if you can enact enough discipline in yourself to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm at the store, it's $20. I'm going to swipe my credit card. And if my discipline is so thin that I can't imagine holding the $20 until the bill's due, I'm going to open my app right now and pay $20 to it. Why? Because from a credit bureau standpoint, the way that transaction is reviewed is, oh, Troy just borrowed $20. Oh, Troy paid me back $20. He's credible. And that's going to allow you to snowball that and have good transactions, good volume. And the more you do that, the better your credit in terms of repayment looks. There's a couple of different legs in there, which obviously we can get to another day. But fundamentally, those are kind of cornerstones, in my opinion, of that.
Dope, that's dope. Yo, Triz, man, plug how people can reach you, how they can find you, website, Instagram,
man.
Yeah, so I'm on IG, so at Triz Rob, that's at TRIZZROB, and then our AIP page is AIP_series, that's SERIES. Tap in. We actually have a call next week. Tomorrow, actually. I don't know when you guys dropping this.
We'll drop it Tuesday morning. So this.
Oh, word. So by the time y'all see this, we'll have a call at 7 p.m. If you go to AIP's page in the profile, you can sign up. We don't spam you, don't do none of that. It's real light. It's an hour call. Everybody's welcome. Any questions you have, everything's fair game. We talk numbers on there, so it does get real cool for people. But appreciate that.
Dope.
Yeah, so I'll put that in the I'll put that in the description.
Word.
As his tag, so we can make sure that we.
Real quick, what made you get into this field? Like, what was your inspiration? Something you went to school for? Something you learned? You took classes on your own? How did you? What inspired you to get into this?
So for me, I feel like it was organic, bro. Honestly, like my dad had a 2-family, all he had, and I grew up with like tenants upstairs. I moved to California for a couple of years. I came home, and my dad had a for rent sign in the window. You know what I'm saying? It been in there when I found out from my mom. She's like, yeah, it's been there for like 5 months. So long story short, I was like, damn, like I know he's hurting off this because he ain't getting the rent. And so I was like, man, let me take this over. And even me and my dad, we had never seen eye to eye on business, but he just understood, like, yo, I gotta just trust it. So I tried it. I went ahead and rented it. I got him $700 more than he used to get a month. And from there, I never looked back. I took that over. I've been running it. And then it really just snowballed. And, it's funny, Dot's on here. This is a guy I had to press. You know what I'm saying? Before he finally bought that house, I was pressing this guy because I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Go buy it. Go do it. And, I really just started to realize the economics of like, yo, bro, it's fundamental too. This is a gem. I talk about gems. This one changed my life, bro. It's not about how much money you make, bro. It's not. It's about how much you really have and how much you save. Like, bro, like spending $2,000 a month on rent, having that go out the window and say, yo, I live in a house and I pay $400 to my mortgage and I own the house. Come on, it's inherent. Like I automatically just saved $1,600. It was crazy. It was automatic. So that's what really bettered for me, man. And where I got to today is I really just found the joy in it. I feel like for me is a communal service I can do for my community. And as I turn houses over and I start to do investments, like I'm doing a 3-family, the first thing we want to do is offer it to all people and be like, yo, I got a 3-family. This is the numbers on it. Do you want to, like, we'll give it. It's not just going to hit the market and go to the highest bidder. So you can start to control the economic outlay for all people. And, for me, I think that's somewhere where I can add value. So that's really been it.
Dope. Yeah, man. America. I know the millions of people watching.
Before you plug out, though, watch this. All 3 of y'all own houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's huge to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense. I think when you look at the 3 of you guys in a community and see, like, yo, like, foundationally, these are 3 guys from 3 different kind of walks that have come together. And if you can all arrive at a common of something, that means that it must be for a reason, in my opinion.
So one thing that I wanted to talk about with you today is me and you had a spirited conversation in the DM that burned this whole you coming on the pod to, to share your wisdom, where we were talking about the recent comments by the Wells Fargo CEO. So the Wells Fargo CEO recently said, and so one thing I want to say is that he wasn't saying it shrouded in secrecy, because sometimes we look at the headline and be like, oh, they might have caught him saying it when he thought no one was paying attention. This man was on a call with other prominent Black people who work at Wells Fargo, at his firm. And he said that he wants to have more Black people working higher up in the firm and on the board, but there just isn't a talented enough pool of Black candidates for him to draw from. So I was kind of put off by that remark. And me and Troy started going back and forth in the DM. Nothing bad, but just like, talking through it and trying to figure out, where we both stood on it. So I kind of wanted to get everybody's opinion on the thoughts of like his actual comment and how that can hurt us and permeate the community.
So I guess I'll start. So I kind of feel 2 ways about it. In the climate that we're currently in, I can see why that's like not the correct thing to say, but also from someone that's kind of worked in like a HR recruitment field. And I don't want to speak for him, but I can also say like, certain cultures, and when you're like, at that level and you're looking at your analytics or your numbers or demographics, what I hope he meant is like there's a certain like, race that isn't like, necessarily have the necessary credentials or degrees or looking to do that kind of field where they can hire. But that also kind of goes back to the conversations that we've had in the past. Like, people just have in their idea sometimes, like, what a Black person should be or what the correct Black person is. And if you don't fit that necessary description as far as your, like, your look, your appearance, how you wear your hair, even down to like what your name is, they already off rip, even if you may be the most qualified person, kind of disqualify you for that. So it's kind of gets a little tricky.
I got a question for you on that, Doc. I want Zine to go first, though, on this.
Yeah, when I seen the headline, I was put off by it, and I agree 100% with Dodd. It was just like, with just everything that's going on in regards to the Black Lives Matter and all this Joe Budden ownership and see the God back and forth ownership and, us trying to be putting ourselves in prominent positions in all work fields. I seen he was tone deaf in that comment, but getting the context from Jiggy in regards to where he mentioned that and there was no ill will intent behind it. I get his premise. There's, how, I work in the education field and there's a small pool of African Americans that want to get into education. And I feel like our role in education is vital, especially for people who look like us, to have those influences. So I think he might be saying a correct fact, and we can't be, salty in regards to that. And I'm sure that's a comment that he didn't expect to go out there. And even his apology in regards to that, he cleared it up a little bit. But if
I
his
need to
facts
answer.
and stats, according to Wells Fargo, I wasn't really that upset. It was just more of, obviously, clickbait. I know, what was it? Was it Forbes that did something about African Americans and how we're so thirsty for the next stimulus check? Like, these are things that are just, hot topic debates right now. And if that's what's going on and people are not going to school for that and educating themselves in that, he probably made a correct statement, but I just think it was tone deaf and he didn't read the room. So I'm 50-50 on how I felt on it. You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna give you this one, like, my take really just comes from like, yo, I'm in corporate America. Like, I've moved through corporate America. I've moved quickly in some. I worked at Walmart headquarters. I've worked at Raytheon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at Dunkin' Brands now. Like, I've done that shuffle, and I know. But what I think in that comment that when I take out of like my feeling of what you say, and I'm just looking at like, yo, what is the application process? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's actually just be like politically correct about what we're talking about. When we talk about the pool of application, it's like I post a position for, director of, public relations. Like, how many people actually fit that qualification criteria to even be viewed for that position, right? So again, in the conversation that Josh alluded to is like, yo, that was what we were talking about. Is I'm saying again, and I'm not saying that we're disproportionately out of that room for factors outside of our control. I don't disagree at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't disagree. You know what I'm saying? I went and played ball to get where I'm at today. People lose sight of that. They really thought I was playing ball because I wanted to go to the league. Like, if that would happen, cool. I did it because mom and pops ain't had $200K for college. Say what you may, you know what I'm saying? So I say that to say this. When we talk about like qualified applicants, people get lost in that. And it's like, yo, like, you got to understand, like, I'm in jobs. I don't even want to apply for manager jobs. I won't even lie to you. I don't even apply for them. And I'm in that world and they're asking me to. And I'm going, I don't want it because I'm trying to do something else. But I also see it and I look at it and say, like, is there a reason why we're not making to those steps, right? There's some fundamental things, education, all those kind of things that we may not have. We may not be able to get the college schooling that we need to get the numbers in there to have the spot for the application. But I also would look at it and say, like, yo, look, I'm at the point too, right? And this is, don't get me wrong, I stand by this again. It shouldn't be this way. I'm not disagreeing. But I'm at the point where it's like, yo, we can complain about the way the game's played, or we can learn how it's played and go play the game and win. I'm not disagreeing. We're going to be down. We're down. We're already down. The game starts, we're down 20. We're down 20. But nobody's going to stop. And this was real. This is so real. No one is stopping the game and going, yo, catch up. It's not going to happen. It's not happening, bro. If anybody thinks, I don't talk about reparations for years, all that, bro, you got to understand just economics, bro. The clock is not stopping. Like, imagine somebody came to you tomorrow and said, yo, stop working and you stop getting this job so everybody else can catch up. You look at them like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, I'm with you on that. And what we kind of do now, and what kind of alludes to like the way you're posted and everything, I feel like a lot of corporations have to, if they do want to be more diverse, you have to kind of redo your system on how you post jobs, on how you get applicants. Like, you can't put certain things out there. Like, let's say, for instance, like, so in recruitment or like any HR, you work with what's called the ATS, an applicant tracking system. So let's say, for instance, like, one place use iSIMS. Right now we use Workday. If you want to put a job out there, you don't necessarily have to put Workday experience required. You can say preferred, because if you can learn one ATS, you can learn how to do another ATS. And also just kind of, I think a lot of places are adding that diversity statement to their job postings that wasn't there before. Because honestly, a lot of issues or a lot of skepticisms I've had with like applying for jobs, like, damn, I'm gonna be the only black guy there. Like, so just to kind of read the room, know what's going on. And then a few weeks ago, Troy, what we had brought up was, I hate when people say, like, you know, college is a scam, don't go to college, this and that. And what I mean by that is, yes, we know that you could probably do a lot of positions without college. But like you said, it's a game, and we have to learn how to play the game. And unfortunately, in America, in order to achieve certain things, you need that piece of paper. So
yeah, I agree.
Instead of telling people, hey, don't go to college, it's a scam, you're losing your money. But wouldn't you want to see teachers that look like you? Wouldn't you want to see lawyers that look like you, doctors, nurses, and the list goes on? So that's what I mean. Like, it's unfair. It is unfair. And to be quite frank, it's not going to change. But while working for change, we have to learn how to combat these things, and that sometimes you got to play that game.
That's it. Well, I say this to you, Dot. Let me ask you this though, Dot. When you say that, right? I say this to people, it's like, yo, like you can play the college game. And this is the thing, again, is a culture. We got to stop shaming certain things because you're cutting off good avenue. People shame community college.
It's free for a couple years, and then you transfer.
Yo, you can $50,000 a year at your 4-year school. That's $2,000 over 4 years. You can go to your local community college for 2 years. As long as you do your homework and make sure the school you want to go to after will accept their credits, you can go there for 2 years, likely get in that joint for free. If not, 2 years, probably under $20,000, and then transfer your credits to the 4-year school you wanted to go to, and now only have half the debt from that school of whatever you would have had. Like, again, the knock is like, people don't want to get, oh, you go to here, you go to CCR, right? Like, why is that a knock? Like, I'm going here to go learn something. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do this. And I think a part of it too, man, is like, we got this crab in the barrel thing that's so huge, but some of it people don't even realize, like, oh, damn, this is technically crab in the barrel mentality. Like, clowning those things is not cool, man. And I say all the time, anything in life is only as serious as you take it. If I go to junior college and I'm playing a ball and if I'm serious, I'm a DC All-American, I'll get a scholarship. If you go there and you're going to disrespect it and say this is JUCO, then yeah, they'll get you up out of there too, and you won't get nothing. And I think
that's what happens a lot in our community in regards to, we do a lot of observation outside of the circle, you know what I mean? And I always call it the jump rope or the double Dutch effect, you know what I mean? We're so hesitant to finally jump in. And then when you notice the people that actually take that leap of faith and jump in, they're successful, we're cheering for them, they look like a unicorn to us and all this stuff like that. Like, I still get you're a dean of students, how? Like, I don't know, I tried, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know you remember me for what I did, but I finally jumped in that double Dutch, learn the skills, learn the trade, learn the attributes, know what I need to do. And I agree with all the analogies, especially, you know, we just got to get in the game. It already is going to be 4th and 20. What you going to do? You going to Lamar Jackson it, or you going to look like Mitchell Trubisky? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get in it. And I think that's the notion where I keep up and I prop up everybody who I see that looks like me, and I have that, you know, try to change that mentality. Like, yo, we can actually do it. We can't keep complaining outside of the club, man. Sometimes you got to get in the club, pay that $20 and enjoy yourself. Obviously, you know how to throw that club analogy in there.
But let me ask this though. So we talk about the lack of qualified candidates, and yeah, you know, like me and Troy were talking about it, and like there are systemic issues that lead to a lack of qualified. But I do think that, you know, culture does play a huge piece into it in terms of, like, you know, if you're, you know, let's just be honest, most of these firms are ran and led by white men. You know, who do they want to let into the fraternity? Who are they comfortable with? And then at the same token, I was realizing that, you know, when I was looking at jobs and applying for jobs a while ago, I'm like, damn, like I fit like 6 of those qualifications, but not 10, you know, or I only fit 5 and not all 8. But, you know, somebody that feels like they're entitled to that position, if they fit 1 or 2, they're like, yeah, I'm in there. So I do think that we have to be, the only pushback I really gave was we have to be very careful of saying that, you know, that this black person has to be this rock star candidate, whereas, you know, somebody who's of a lighter hue can just be regular and get that same, you know, get that same interview. You know,
I disagree.
That's
I
fact.
think it's just different. It's different for people, right? Like,
Yeah, it is. So like, it's a lot different. So, I mean, and that does happen. Like, you know, that does happen, but it gets to a point of, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep talking about it? That's never gonna like progress us. And Triz will tell you, like, even though he didn't necessarily go to Wheaton, he was there all the time. I've known Triz was in high school. I was almost kicked out of Wheaton twice for academics. So with the way you guys view me and the way people view me in Providence now, they think like, you know, this kid's pretty smart. He's intellectual. Like, you know, he knows what he's talking about. Amongst all those white kids, I was probably, this kid's stupid. Like, he can't make it here. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say.
before you go off on that though, Doc, like, take this one though. Like, I think there's different types of smarts.
yeah.
So in that system, they were more trained for it, and they might have did better than you.
Exactly, but that was my next point. And I say that to say, once I finally made it out of Wheaton, even though it was a struggle for me, I got that paper that I needed. I knew if you just put me in front of you, I know what I can do. I know what I can say. I know what I'm going to own. That's going to give me the best chance. And yesterday I was in New Hampshire. I was reffing. I saw my former athletic trainer. And he's like, what are you doing now? I'm like, at Brown. I work at Brown. I work at HR. And the look he gave me is like, wow, you're at Brown? Where I see Coach Walmsley when he's watching his son play and saying, I'm working at Brown. Or he sees that I drive a Lexus. He kind of gives like the surprised look, like we never saw this Sean. Because that's how, like, you know, I feel like outside of our community, that's how it's like trained. Like, you go to college, you go get straight A's, or you get a 4.0, and then, like, you know, if your dad has something, you have those credentials and they'll line you up, whereas the black person has to work a little harder. You know what I'm saying? If they don't have the grades, or even if they do have the grades, they still have to, like, you know, prove that I can belong here, where it may be a lot easier for someone that is white. So it's kind of, it's a tough battle. You're right, but it's a tough battle, John.
Yeah, because all right. So what you just said is really important. So you're talking about these men who were instrumental in your life and knew you when you were young. You know what I'm saying? A young man, because you came to Wheaton when you were 17. So while you're doing stuff and they're holding you to, like, oh my God, like, you know, basically look at this black kid coming in here and messing everything up for himself, whereas that white kid, or, you know what I'm saying, is gonna get that, oh, this is kids being kids, getting drunk in the dorm, having a little too much fun. You know what I'm saying? So and that's what we talk about, like, that kind of culture permeates through corporate America, and it's probably stronger in corporate America than even in the education system.
But why?
I mean, it's just, it's not so much like, I think at the end of the day, a lot of it is just tribalism, but that's a deeper conversation. But a lot of it is just that people think like people think racism is like, you know, like this KKK mask and like burning the cross, whereas racism could be something so thin as not giving somebody the benefit of the doubt when you pull them over, when you're interviewing him, when you're looking at his resume, when, you know, just small things like that, where that can shift somebody's whole existence, whether they get or don't get that opportunity. And like a lot of the opportunities that me, you, Sean, Z get, we get because we know how to comport ourselves in these spaces. You know what I'm saying? Probably because a lot of prep school, private school stuff, you know what I'm saying, which definitely helps you, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's tough, you know, and it's not one size fits all answer.
I think it's two sides, right? And I asked that question, what to put you in the spot? But I asked that question because I think, you know, there's a piece that people don't give enough respect to. You don't understand each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to O'Brien High School. You know what I'm saying? I went there first. And, you know, I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to go to prep school. I went to prep school. I was in prep school with 350 people. And this is kindergarten through 12th grade, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was white people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. So, like, I could go in there and they could look at me and be like, why you don't know what to do with this? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you know this? Why have you never seen this? And it's like, yo, that's just not where I was. That's not what I was raised. That wasn't my norm. It's the same thing for me. Like, when we go down the street and and you don't know what type of town you're in, and you don't know how to put your stuff away or how to get on the train and not lose your stuff. And there's just different things that we learn because of where we grew up. I think in corporate America, people forget that corporate America is a pool of individuals. There's individuals that come in, and at every layer, every individual has their own perception of life. So if I'm the recruiter and I don't understand like why it might take you a little longer to get through college. So I see you was at college for 5 years, but I didn't have the money. I had to stretch it out. But like, you know what I'm saying? You can't ask that question.
Yeah.
Be in that spot. And so some of the stuff is just like, people won't get it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the part. When I go into those interviews and stuff, I understand a little bit more about, you know, where they're coming from and what they're going to ask for me. And, you know, going back to what Sean said, like, yo, you have the job application and you go apply. And then to your point, Josh, you know, oh, I only fit the role of 6. Well, see, I was a guy and I still am the guy. If it was something I wanted, I still go apply, fit 6. Well, the other 4, I could tell you like, oh, I don't know that, but I like to have stretch roles. So I don't want to get a job where I know everything. Now they want to like, oh, okay, so this guy wants to learn. You know, it's just a little bit of playing a game. I think that a lot of our people really come at things of like, I want the job, I want the money. And we lose sight of like, yo, it's an actual job. These people are in business to make more money. We want to make sure that you understand that and that you want to go out and go do that. And I just think I think those conversations are deeper.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a deeper conversation. And in regards to, they applied to that job and they may not get it, and then they lean on all the systemic stuff that's possibly happening as it could be a valid excuse, but excuse nonetheless. And then that's what discourages them. And then that's when you just get that cycle of, you know what, I'm going to go my comfort level. I'm not going to leap for that. And then, you know, I just got to put on record. It took me 6.5, you know what I mean, to graduate school. So you just got to go at your own pace and just start seizing these opportunities. And I think, Triz, you're right. At the end of the day, like, I'm willing to learn. If you articulate yourself like, yo, I'm willing to do what you guys need me to do to complete the 10 out of the 10, if I only come with 4 or 6, I think these opportunities and positions will open up more, especially in the climate that we're in right now. I think this is the opportunity in time where we need to seize it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I want to leave America with. You know what I mean? So, you know,
so I say that to say, like, okay, we all know it's not fair. We all know that we don't necessarily get a fair shake. So with that being said, and like, obviously, if you do feel you're not getting a fair shake or something unjust happened, I would hope that, like, you know, especially what we've learned in this year, 2020, that you speak on it and you make yourself heard. But aside from that, what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can only say for but so long, this is happening to me, this is happening. Eventually, kind of got to have some action. Like, you know, if you just keep saying he's doing this, that person's going to keep doing it, you know, until eventually you find out how to either avoid it or how to go through it.
Okay. So, I mean, man, this has been such a good conversation, you know, but we're going to shift a little bit to the entertainment industry. You know, we ate our vegetables. Now we're going to have, you know, a little dessert, you know. Man, recently, rapper, singer, entertainer Torey Lanez released the album on Friday. You know, he's not on the label. He's completely independent, and it's slated to sell about 50,000 first week through streams and just straight purchases. How do you guys feel about the timing of the release? How do you guys feel about the content? I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I have not listened to it yet.
Man, climate, I feel like it wasn't the best time to do it, especially because of the, like, you know, terrible news we got of, like, you know, Breonna Taylor and being that Meg Thee Stallion was shot. You know, it kind of wasn't a good time to do it. I know he said that was his, like, you know, his mom's birthday. That's why he released it. But, like, it was tough. It was tough. But I listened to that. I ain't gonna lie. I listened to that album back to back multiple times. And I'm just like, damn, like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm confused. So I don't know. Zeem, I don't know if Triz listened yet.
I didn't listen to it. Is the whole album about that?
It's the whole, the thing it makes you think like, yo, what the hell is really going? Because he's naming specific things. Like if he's lying about any of this, like he's either the best actor of all time or he's psychotic. Like it's just you can't be that specific and lie. That's the only thing.
So my original thought was definitely bad timing. You know, he didn't read the room, and especially him being independent, he has the green light push button to drop that whenever he was going to drop that. I thought it was smart on his part to put up a post like, hey, listen, regardless, first of all, portions of my album is going to go to, I think he said like a black woman supported or something to that nature surrounding that. And then secondly, listen, just for sonically wise, lyrical wise, singing wise, he put together a great project. I'm not going to take that away from him. I think every man should get their day in court. They should be able to explain themselves. And what I'm seeing is people want, like, that's my biggest thing in the social media era where if you don't do it their way and how they envision for you to apologize or address something, then they're going to deem you a villain. And I can't say when we want our artists to be truthful in their music, tell a story. You know, one of my favorite R&B albums of all time, Confessions, even though Jermaine Dupri wrote it, it was about relationship and what, you know, this man was really going through. So for Torey to do this and for us in the social media, once you say it first, that's the notion that you have to stick with. You're guilty until proven innocent. And I feel like Megan and her approach left a lot of questions to be open until she did that live on his birthday to be like, he's the one who shot me, he's the one who did this. And he's basically saying, yo, sweetheart, you was belligerent drunk that night. You don't know what's going on and you're getting this story in regards to this. One thing where Torey dropped the ball was, regardless, she got hurt that night by him, by somebody affiliated with him or someone else, and just be like, hey, babe, lover, friend, whatever, I'm sorry that this happened to you, but this is how it went down. And I think that would have been, people would have able to swallow that more if it was approached that way. And, you know, they're looking at him, oh, he try to monetize off of it, he try to get a check off of it, whatever the case may be. And I know this is going to rub people the wrong way, but I felt like Megan profited off of it tremendously, even though she did have the #1 song already in the country with Cardi B, WAP, but just everything after that, the endorsement deals, the Time Magazine, 100 Influence, whatever the case may be, being more notoriety, I think she profited off of it as well in a fortunate situation. So I'm a firm believer in we have to hear both sides of the story. And right now, Megan was very direct, like, hey, listen, Torey did it. Torey was rebuttal like, hey, sweetheart, I'm sorry that you got fed false information, but it wasn't me. So now we got to leave it up to the courts. And we can't live in this world with court of public opinion. But I just felt the timing, like I can't say Torey knew that on Thursday, the lawyer, the Attorney General, Daniel, was going to say X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And that's where I feel like Torey really dropped the ball. But project-wise, Torey bodied it, and I must stand by it. I don't feel guilty by saying that. I'm not a firm believer in like, oh, I heard this, and I'm canceling and I'm canceling that. He brought up a lot of great points in regards to what this cancel culture is. And Sean and Jiggy know how much I hate about Black Twitter and, oh, we're canceling B. Simone, we're canceling Desi, we're canceling Meek Mill, we're canceling Chris Brown, we're canceling all this stuff like that, where it's just like, are we sticking together or we're casting it out and throwing them to the wolves? Like, which one is it? And Jiggy, you got to speak on that for me. Like, I think I see you looking away. I know you feel some type of way. I know you're on some like,
nah, I'm trying not to laugh. That's what
I'm saying. I need you to elaborate on where you're coming from in regards to this.
And that's why I wanted you to listen, because when I get like,
the thing is though, Doc, I'm be honest. Like, I saw some of the excerpts of the song of when he was talking about it, and then some of the other songs where he was addressing some people he felt should have picked up the phone and called him instead of saying things publicly. My thing is like, you know, this girl said, yo, this dude shot me, flat out. So from what I read in those excerpts of when he was talking about it, he basically is kind of like tap dancing around it. I feel like he's playing with words. Hold on. I feel like he's tap dancing and playing with words. And then he's saying like the thing about, well, how'd you get shot in the foot if a bone didn't get hit? And that's the same like internet meme that's been floating since, which was the impetus of her to come out and say, yo, I got shot. And then see the cyanide releases the record saying like, yo, Meg Thee Stallion was treated for a gunshot wound.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. So I think that what Torey Lanez did for him was the smartest thing he could do, because it's like Zine had sent me something, and I forgot who said it. It was a Daily Struggle. I don't know if it was Academics or Nadesco or some other guy that had on there. That Torey Lanez is not some guy that never says anything. Like, he the whole quarantine radio. He's a big personality. He's constantly doing interviews. He does a lot of interviews. Like, we got artists like a Drake or a J. Cole or Kendrick who we haven't heard do like a real interview in years. Like, and they speak just through their music. So I think that I would have felt better if Torey Lanez would have came out and just said, hey, I did not shoot this girl. Like, of trying to like make it like dance around it, and then you're coming at people. And if you feel like you want to defend yourself and you got the right to defend yourself, cool. But for me, I feel like people are trying so hard to poke a hole in this girl's story of her getting shot. And she came out and flat said, yo, dude shot me.
So here it is.
Let Trish touch on that a little bit. Let him get in there and then rebuttal that dot after Trish.
Yeah, Josh, I'll give you this. And this is real. So we talk about Black culture, and there's a lot of it rhyming in this. Don't forget the piece where we still, no snitching, right? So hear me out. Speculate, right? If he's in a car and he knows he didn't shoot her, but we know she got shot, that means the man in the car shot her. If he come out and say, I didn't shoot her, and he does it that black and white, yo, who did it? You know what I'm saying? So now his dilemma, in my opinion, is somebody in your camp? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, yo, do I go do that? Or do I leave this to the judicial system that if they can't put it together, there's no case? Now, don't get me wrong. You're exiling your girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's on the island and like, yo, you got shot, no justice for you. I hear you. But the same people out here that's screaming no snitching, you can't turn around and do that there. Because this is at the macro level. We want to make examples out of you people. You know what I'm saying? He get a shot, he's getting some, look.
But that's why my thing is this. That's why I begged and pleaded for Josh to listen to the album. And Zine, correct me if I'm wrong. And with Shade Room and what these blogs do on the internet, they don't tell you the full story because of how Josh just responded. I knew he was going to respond that way because he didn't listen to the album. So they put out certain things there so you can have the debate that, okay, he went at these people and he doesn't really say if he did, he kind of, but that's the songs that they chose so to keep this conversation going. There's certain songs, and Zine, stop me anytime I'm telling a lie. There are songs, the song I told you to listen to Sunday morning, Josh. I said I had anything you needed if you would just listen to it. He specifically says everything that happened, like he addresses it head on as if he was talking in an interview. He says, I did not shoot you. He says, you were so drunk. How would I be able to shoot you if you were, how would you even know it's me if you were turned around? He basically said, you did get shot, but it wasn't me. You and I know that. And if it wasn't for this open court case right now, and when that eventually does come out in due time, everyone's going to look at you funny. That's what he's legit saying. And I don't get how you can manipulate. He's literally saying that verbatim. And so how can you like?
Yeah, he didn't tap in, and I think that's a big factor, Josh, that you're
going off of what Shade Room posted instead of listening to what he actually said.
Right, and my biggest thing, Josh, and like I said, I know where your heart is. It's in a good place in regards to, how do I say it?
Yo, I'm just like, hold on, let me stop you, right? So it's not that my heart is in a good place, but I get like the way that I feel like this is being told, it and you guys are gonna, like, you got mad when I brought it up last time, but it always feels like when the black person gets shot by the police, and then they start running down their record. Like, we try to poke holes in every single little thing. The woman told you, yo, the dude shot me. Period.
So let me ask you this. He's telling you, yo, he said specifically, yo, I did not shoot you. I would never, he said, I have a black mother, I have a black daughter, I have black sisters. I would never put my hands on a woman. I would never shoot a gun at a woman. That's what he said in the song. So my thing is this: Megan did get shot. We can never say that's not true.
But she said Torey shot me.
But listen. We can never say that's not true. We can never say that's not the case. The same way she is saying that when she did that live, that she's saying that his people is trying to alter certain things. He says in the song that, yo, basically they're reaching out to me and threatening me not to release a statement. And then he said, then the reason why I wanted you to listen to the song, he goes on and he says something like, yo, what do you do when everybody's saying that you did this and you know for a fact you didn't do it, but you can't say certain things because of the court and the lawyer? So at the end of the day, we can feel sorry for Megan for black women for getting shot. But at the end of the day, because how can we play God or the judge to decipher, like, you know, he's lying, like, because she.
The thing is, though, is that like, I'm not playing God. I'm not on social media saying, yo, like, down with Torey. I'm just choosing not to listen to his music. Like, I'm not doing nothing bad to him. Like,
I get that.
And the crazy thing is like, you're like so gung ho that I can hear it in your voice and your energy that you believe Torey and not Meg.
It's not that I believe that she got shot. Yes, to be honest with you, I believe she got shot. We saw it. But I don't believe it happened how we all think it happened, to the point like I'm seeing. And Triz, I know you hate the whole like social media, getting into that kind. That's not your thing. But we kind of, what we talk about a lot in our group chat is things we see on Twitter, things we see on, like, you know, Instagram, like, and like, that's just our conversation. So we
95% of it is just jokes.
Yeah. So
I hear this, and I hear you on this, because I'm saying, like, to Dot's point, like, Josh to say, like, yo, I'm not listening to his music. To me, I look at them like, yo, did you just listen to it? Did you just listen to his music?
So why does like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think.
Yo, listen, Torey's a talented dude, super talented.
So, but that's
why doesn't he get the
benefit of the doubt,
courtesy, the benefit of the doubt from you? That's my biggest ploy of, or it not issue, but just more of curiosity of, like,
because it's just like I don't feel like I'm harming Torey. Like, I'm not out here like protesting saying that he should be put in jail and put away. But just me personally, I just don't like when, like, if the album was to be posted, I just would skip past it, because it's just like there's so much more out there.
Why though? I just what you're doing, and I respect that, and I'm not trying to poo-poo that, and that's your preference and your prerogative. But like, you have not hit us with the why aspect. Why that?
I don't like it. Just don't hit me. Like, I don't have that want to even listen, to even go scroll for his music.
So Josh, answer me this though, Josh.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So let's say this comes out and it's all said and done, and it wasn't him.
Yeah. Well, I already told
you go back and listen to music.
Well, what I'm like, a lot of it just depends on what eventually does come out. And I already told Dot, like, yo, if it comes out that, like, it was like Meg had a gun and they were struggling for it, and it went off and he shot her, or he didn't do it, I would admit I was wrong. I'm doing that because I'm not like waving the flag saying that, like, you know, he should be just put under the jail. And when this first happened, Dot and Zine can attest to this. I said that, yo, like, if I'm Torey Lanez, if I'm a Chris Brown, if I'm whoever, I don't want to be known for the worst thing that I ever did.
Yeah, but you got to understand, because you're not dumb, the worst thing you ever did doesn't live in perpetuity. Like
that's why I'm sensitive to that.
But you're saying that, but you're kind of not, because you're saying like, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything to him. If we all took that stance, we really take food out the man's mouth.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
That, and
like, I'm so adamant at getting you to listen that it's coming across that I don't believe Meg Thee Stallion and Jesus is lie, which isn't the case. But it's like, damn, like.
Oh yeah, so but see,
you do something.
But I'm gonna push back on that, because if you're saying you don't believe that it happened like she says, then you saying she's lying.
But what I'm trying to say is going more so like, damn, like nothing he does, nobody's even willing to listen. It's just chalked up. Nobody saw, like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody saw, like, it's not like, yo, Torey Lanez fires gun at Meg Thee Stallion, or any of the 4 people in that car didn't speak. And everybody's just so adamant and gun-ho and saying, that's it. She said it. It has to be true. He lied, and that's it.
But I want to push back on that a little bit, because I think there's a lot of people that don't believe her. There's a lot of people, and you can see it like yo, when I heard so Zine sent me that interview with academics in the Deska, and she's like, yo, she's like, yo, just believe black women. She's like, what reason do we have to not believe her? So what I'm saying is that we've been going through this whole Black Lives Matter movement. The women who started Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying, is black women. The women you see out organizing protests, the one that we went to, is black women. So all I'm saying is that I'm not like saying like, yo, Torey deserves to die, like F Torey Lanez, like yo, throw him away forever. But I'm saying, before the time being, I'm gonna err on the side of listening to the victim. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, if you say that, I'm here with you. Because all I'm saying is, if the car right now was like this, if the 3 y'all was in the car and I was Meg, Dot shot me. You telling them Dot shot me?
Say that one more time. Hold up.
You need me to repeat that?
Yeah.
The 3 of y'all's in the car with me. I'm Meg.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Dot shot me.
Yeah.
They say, yo, Josh shot me. You gonna say, no, I didn't? Dot shot me?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You wouldn't, Josh. It's easy to say that.
You're not doing that. You're not doing that.
I couldn't 100% do that to you. I could if Trish shot somebody, like, which I know he would never do, I could, and I got the blame for it. Like, I couldn't like bring myself to right away, because it's true.
You're gonna lean on. This is with Dot, right? You're gonna lean on like, yo, Trish did that. I know, like, yo, like, even me, if I did that, say Dot did, I'm like, yo, nah, that was me. I'm not gonna have you carry my.
That's different.
It's not though. I think you gotta, like, what's happening here is what we know. You know how this game goes. This game goes, if the police can't solve it, then we all get off free. And yes, it's unfortunate that it was the black sister that got hurt, but that's the game that they're gonna play with that. And that's the game we see amongst us every day.
And my premise is, I heard Megan, I heard Torey, and now I'm so more adamant is, I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, from the music,
like,
I feel
that's
like
my biggest thing. It's more of like, I heard both, and I'm more of like, you know what? Now I'm at the point where I don't know what happened. I'm not believing Torey. I'm not believing Meg. I don't know. And I can even feel more confident we wasn't there, so we don't know. You get what I'm trying to say? And where I feel like the energy I get from you, Josh, is no. Listen, in this particular instance, the black woman was correct. This guy did it, and because I feel that he did it, I don't want to hear what he has to say. I'm gonna live in this area of I believe her and not him. And to me, that's just like
how
did
they
do that at? Yeah, where they do that at?
Because my thing is like, yo, the woman got shot. It's obvious that there was 3 other people in the whip. Her best friend didn't shoot her. She didn't shoot herself. So it's either Torey or his bodyguard shot her. So
my thing is, why is it?
So hold on. So all I'm saying is that, so it can only be 1 or 2 people. It's not like they were in some club where it was like 600 people there and guns just going off. Like, she said at first she was even trying to protect him a couple of times, where she was saying like, yo, like, something happened. I'm like over it. And then everyone kept, social media was eating her up. The news cycle was eating her up. And she finally said, yo, Torey shot me.
So what if it, you said it can't be Kelsey. What if it was Kelsey?
But I'm just going off what the woman said, bro. Like, I'm not.
Why can't you go off what the man said?
Because I feel like what Torey did, the kind of artist he is and the personality he is, where he's an.
You're judging him.
No.
Now you're judging. No,
I'm not. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that I think that when something bad happens to like an artist, like an incident like this, the best thing you can do is just try to speak through your music, especially if you're talented. Look at how long R. Kelly sustained because his music was just so good.
What you mean?
People knew he was wilding, but yo, the music was so good. So like, I think that if Torey Lanez would have just came out and said like, hey guys, like, you know, I think that a lot of people would be like, all right, bro. But since he put it in a nice melodic form.
You want him to say, hey guys, but he's feeling like he didn't do it. We're going to say, hey guys.
But I'm just saying that from my perspective, I think that what he did was whack. At least the album was whack. But I think that for him in his position, it was smart because now you get to monetize it. You're saying you're gonna get people back on your side because they're fans of your music.
But Josh, what could Josh? All right, so now we're talking business, right?
Yeah.
Business, right? Like, what other way could you do this? Number one, you're coming off of killing it on IG, right? You're now independent. What better platform could you have than like literally breaking Instagram to now drop your music? The world is at your attention. It's the best time. That
goes back to my point of the people who are adamantly upset of how you went about it goes back to the social media. You didn't do it my way or how I envisioned for you to do it. Therefore, I'm shunning you. I'm turning my back. And that's why I went to Josh. If you was Torey Lanez, how would you have went about it that you feel like it would appease everybody?
You got to get that's what I'm saying. I think that he did what's best for him. So I'm not mad at him. It's just like, it's just disappointing to see, like, because let's say that Meg really is telling the truth. She's got victimized all over again.
But my thing is,
so my thing is yo, if Torey really didn't do it, I already said like, yo, I would admit I was wrong. I said that from the beginning, and I would feel bad for him that he had to deal with that. And I would look at Meg a certain kind of way and not want to deal with her music.
But I'm gonna say this though, Josh. Like, is the assumption here that we're saying like, in her view, like she saw with her own two eyes, like you pointed to that and you did it. Is that how you're taking what she said?
What I'm taking it is that I'm assuming she knows who shot her. There was only 3 other people in the whip.
No. I'm asking you how you're taking.
That's what I'm assuming. Like she saw or was running away from him or knew he had the gun and knew the gun went off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you're like,
yeah.
Okay. And I think everybody else that even sees gray is believing that like something happened and she may not actually know 100%, but she thinks that it was him.
And that's what the dude said. He said, yo, in his song, he says, we went to Kylie's house. Like I had a crush on her, but I would have always left with you because you were basically my girl. They had like a relationship kind of. They were messing with each other. And
no, it was boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah. Then he goes on to say, like, yo, you were so, and on record, she is known to be like because of the pain she's dealt with losing her mom and her grandmother, belligerent drunk. Like she was so drunk that he was like, yo, you did not know what happened that night, and you let your team feed this into you in order for you to say it. I would have been more like, I don't want to say she's lying, but it would have been a more like, okay, deadlock Torey did it. If the girl Kelsey would have came out and say, yeah, that girl's not saying nothing.
Right. You know, and my biggest thing, she's not saying something for a reason, because obviously it's still an open case, and eventually have to testify in X, Y, and Z. My biggest thing in my thought process on this is there is no right way to do this. and I can't tell Torey, no, you should have did it X, Y, and Z. I would have felt more comfortable you doing it this way. All right, so you decided to do it this way. We find out it was bad timing, it was distasteful, whatever the case may be, but I still was listening to the record. Okay, now I finally get to hear your side of the story. And then, Josh, just to go back to clarify, she was mute about the whole situation until she got frustrated when she gathered information allegedly that Torey was reaching out to these certain blogs. And I don't know if they were showing her proof or they was reaching out to her or showing her DMs or his people that he was trying to spin some type of narrative and making her the liar in all this case. And that's what ignited her to go on live. Like, oh, mother effer, you want to start doing X, Y, and Z? Well, guess what? I'm not being quiet no more. And
yeah, it wasn't like
I said that at the time, like,
but that in itself that in and of itself to me doesn't like make Torey look better. And because we all know like people who have had, you know what I'm saying, domestic incidents, right? I have a female friend that had a bunch of domestic incidents with the same guy, kept going back. And it's like women, you know what I'm saying? If they, you know, a lot of times they'll try to protect the person even if they're hurting them. So I can't necessarily say that she just did it because she was mad out of spite. That's what
I'm not saying out of spite. I just think she got to the frustration like, yo, listen, we was dating. I loved you. You loved me. This is why I was protecting you. You already know I'm the victim in this situation. You're trying to go behind back channel doors to do X, Y, and Z. In this album, he was saying that her team, AKA Rock Nation, and all the artists and all their resources are doing everything in their power to blackball him. And then when you get reports that Spotify, Apple, Everyday Struggle, DSPs, radios are saying, no, we're not entertaining this, just in case, you are lying, Torey. And he's like, yo, listen, this is what tends to happen in the cycle with our community and how we treat each other in the sense of we turn on each other and stop giving this cancel culture, stop giving these blogs.
You can't equate this to cancel culture the same.
No. I'm going over the things that he talked about in the album. No.
Let me tap in 1 second.
He's saying this in the album. So he's addressing this. This is what I'm saying. These are facts and things that you're not listening to.
We saw, and Zima, it's hard to do this to your guy. We saw on video, Fabulous raise his hand at his woman, and she run like it was the norm, like she was used to it. Fab he went to court. He could have went to jail for it. He never came and did no sorry. The next thing he did was he dropped the mixtape and he just put like 100 pictures in a row of him matching his girlfriend. So we can't pick and choose when we.
Am I picking and choosing in that?
But Josh, when we talk, we're not obviously saying Josh.
All right, but I'm saying,
come on.
But what I'm saying is that for every person that don't care if Fab puts a shoe on Emily, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are like, yo, I'm not like, yo, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Enough. Like, I mean, it's just like when that whole situation happened, like Zine was hurt. My guy Zine was hurt because that's.
But Josh, I never heard you say Fab. I'm not gonna get it right.
I did. Yes, I did.
You was on that whole Shootout Summer 2003. You never said that. It's a good album. It's a good mixtape. But now because Torey Lanez is popular.
Hold on. Stop. I ain't going to do that because now I'm gonna get pissed off. Because how many
pissed off? Zine, be honest. Did he ever say he was?
He never said that. He never said that. I never said that.
Every time you post something with Fabulous, every time you send a picture of Fabulous in our group chat, I
make a joke of the
what do I do?
Put shoe, but you don't give it the same.
No, I put the fist.
I'm not gonna listen.
Fabulous.
I'm done with Fab. Cancel Fab. I never heard this before.
Fab. I don't listen to Fab, and like how many times did I say, yo?
You didn't listen to that verses? You said that's the best verses of all time. You know you listen
to the verses.
You listen to verses.
That's one thing.
No, he's capping. He's capping. I'm gonna let him rock.
Hold on. Do I ever talk about a Fab album? Do I ever say a Fab album?
You listen to the verses. That's the most important.
That's all I did. And because why?
All you did.
That's the last thing he dropped since December.
So can you just, all you do is just listen to Torey Lanez and just hear his perspective? Can that's all you do?
But you can listen to 5 verses who's making this girl run from him.
But why am I listening to it though? What was we?
I don't know.
And then on top of that,
oh my God,
we had actual visual evidence of Fab doing this. We don't have nothing. We don't have nothing.
Bro, we have nothing. I mean, we don't see Fab. I don't like. I mean, I seen Fab arguing with the father. That's the video.
No, you seen a video of the girl running. She's like,
yeah. Yo, but I don't ever talk about Fab's album. Stop it.
Your last album came out December.
And I didn't listen to it.
You didn't listen to it. All right, next topic, because of the next time.
No, I don't, bro. I don't listen to Fab.
All right, next topic.
Fab comes up in our group chat. It's just a joke from me. And you,
bro.
And Z knows that. We talk about I really want to expose group chat secrets.
Well, that's not even a group chat secret.
The verse. The wrong, everything is open. It's open transparency. Open transparency.
That you really got me one time. Z, you really got me one time with the Meek Mill thing.
Look.
What Meek Mill thing?
Y'all's doing this thing when he dances when he got caught.
Nah, I ain't dancing. All I'm saying is that if we want to do that, we could really.
Do what, bro? You said that legit that you don't listen to Fab, but you listen.
I don't listen
to verses with the best of all time.
I listen to Jadakiss. That's my guy. And I was on.
So when Fab came on, you muted.
No, that thing that makes me so mad is I was on your side the whole time, but Jadakiss. That's the thing that makes.
Not for nothing.
That has nothing to do with that. Who's gonna win? Who you think is gonna win the versus battle? It has nothing to do with that.
You sent us the
I'm just saying, Josh, we have to get to a point, and this is my biggest thing. I'm not gonna talk about personal things or people I know, but I'm under the impression that you like to hear both sides of the story. And in this incident, you are saying, no, regardless, I just want to stick to this side of the story and I'm not jumping the fence. And if it comes out that, there's a truth in the middle, then you're willing to apologize.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. You don't even have to get to the apology part because you have nothing to apologize. You didn't do nothing wrong.
But Well, I just said I was wrong. I'm not saying like I'll apologize, but all I'm saying is that like if this woman's saying, yo, this guy shot me, I'm gonna believe her.
And this black man is telling you he didn't shoot her.
I didn't say black man. I said a woman said that the guy shot her. I believe her, bro.
But the woman in Central Park 5 said them 5 black dudes did it too. I guess they would believe in her.
Yo, I just think that we're putting the effective timing here. Like, if this wasn't the climate, like, would we be apt to listen? Like, I just think like, yo, you can't help what life put out here, but to say that we're not, like, to not even hear the man say nothing, and we're just gonna bro, there's people doing literally years in prison for that type of ideology. Like, I think you gotta hear that. Like, I don't see how you could turn Josh, imagine this was you, and then was somebody that said that, and like the vast majority of people was just like, yo, we're just taking their word on it. We don't want to. You're not getting a day in court, Josh. You're going under the prison, and we're not monetizing you anymore. So you're not getting any lawyer fees paid. This is it.
I'm saying, obviously, I would be upset, but I'm just going off yes, there are some women who make false claims. That does happen.
We're not saying that though. I think what you're doing though, Josh, I think you're creating an atmosphere where it's you either believe her or you don't believe her at all. Like, and I think that what we're saying is a gray area here until we know for sure. Like, it's we can't really. Like,
I'm just saying that I feel like the same people that are listening to the Torey Lanez album, listening to it and saying like, yo, like I'm like now I'm undecided or I'm believing.
That's all I've heard.
I think that they was believing them anyway.
No, see, that's not
no. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers. Hear this out, and I'm not trying to ruffle feathers, but keep it in a buck. I think right now what I see a lot of people are doing, they're weaponizing this whole Breonna Taylor situation because that's a whole separate situation And I feel like when people start saying it's distasteful, it's bad timing, they're equating something that has nothing to do with what happened in Kentucky, something that happened in Calabasas, and weaponizing this victim, a real victim, in the sense of loss in the life and whatever the case may be, and weaponizing it. And now it's just this whole, all right, first of all, we don't protect Black women enough. Black women are in the bottom of the totem pole. And two things can be true. And that's the notion that I'm at. And I feel like when you go into this, I'm not going to say it's a rant, because I generally feel this is your thought process and I respect your opinions and thoughts, but associating what happened, the tragedy of Breonna Taylor, and what happened with Meg Tory at Kylie's house is two separate situations. And I feel like nowadays with everything that's going on, they're just muddying the two. Because to say bad time and distasteful, read the room, whatever the case may be, that goes to the notion of read the room and everything that's going on in social media and the headlines and the clickbaits and the Twitter and Black Twitter. Speak to that. Do you get what I mean though by that?
Me personally, what I'm speaking to is that, like, I wasn't talking about when police things happen, talking about the Breonna Taylor situation in a vacuum. I'm talking about all these situations that happen, and then a story comes out and it was like, oh man, that's crazy. And then people who want to discredit it or have a certain viewpoint, they go down the checkpoints that we know, the criminal history, or they were doing this, or there's another angle, there's this. Like, I just saying that, I feel like it's not the same exact thing, because Meg didn't lose her life. But if we look at a lot of these situations, it's the same tactic. It's just that it's just in a different form.
Nah, but all right, this is my pushback on that, is because when it first came out, a lot of rappers came out, made their jokes. What's that movie always referred to?
Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights, or shot in the foot, whatever the case may be. She came out, retort all those rappers, 50 Cent, Cameron, Joe Budden, anybody who spoke, made jokes about it. They all apologized. Then Torey became the butt of the jokes, where she had national support from every single artist that you can think of. And he was getting jokes on, you're 5'2", you're this, you're done, whatever the case may be. He comes out, says his story, and then does the same thing that Megan did, attack all the haters who made jokes on him and said his side of the story. So that's why I'm like, I am okay with saying, I heard her story, I heard his story. I feel more comfortable to say I wasn't even there. I'm not canceling none of them because I was not there.
Listen, none of us was there. Nobody knows truly what happened, but I'm just saying that I'm just taking her at face value. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. There's not necessarily wrong with that, but I think the same thing you'll say, like, we can talk about Black women, but, Black men face that. We the quickest ones. We get through the judicial system the quickest.
Of course.
And Triz, I love the fact that you said
it's no charge.
Right. And I love the fact that you said the ideology that put us down for hundreds and hundreds of years, Black men and Black women, 50-50. This is the ideology that happens. We automatically believe the lady in the Central Park 5. And that's what the system has done to us. So I'm a firm believer of, I feel more comfortable. I was not there. I did not see it. And I am willing to, and that's my biggest thing. And I thought Sean brought up a great point beforehand. The artists, when you was like, where's Drake to speak on it? Where's Meek Mill? No.
Community.
Yeah. The hip hop community that you usually see on social media a lot. Why are they not speaking up? It's because they're of the notion, can I hear both sides of the story? No one's paying me to jump on Instagram and go on a live or put out a tweet to cape up for something that I do not know.
And the dude said, yo, if you really wanted to know so bad if I did it or not, all you had to do was ask. I would have told you if I did it or not.
And a prime example of that.
Like a Black man, like, we can say that, and that is true. Like, the Black woman is very unprotected, I would say, in America. But the Black man also has to live with a notion that you're guilty until proven innocent. You're never innocent until proven guilty. And anybody I ask, okay, like, I feel you, what Megan said, and you heard Torey, the only valid reason you can give me is, so nobody saw anything. Nobody saw anything there's 4 people there. They're the only 4 people that know. The only valid reason that you're gonna give is she's a black woman, and I'm gonna believe her. That's it. So if Megan would have shot Torey and Megan said she didn't do it and Torey did it, would you have had the same energy as a black man? I'm gonna believe him, or would you have said, woman, he's not gonna do that?
He came out and said, "Yo, like Meg was wilding out and shot me."
But he can't say that right now because it's a court case, Josh.
No. What I'm saying is that if the shoe was on the other foot and like Meg had shot Torey, like, you know what I'm saying, and Torey's like, "Yeah, man, this shit was wilding out and shot me." Like. I just think that people have been trying to like.
No. You didn't finish that thought process. You started it and then you just switched real quick. You didn't finish that. So I go with that energy.
I think
if Torey would have said Meg had shot.
If Torey came out and said like, "Yo, Megan is dying,"
finish that. Yep.
And it was like evidence of him like walking away.
Whoa.
There's no evidence.
No evidence.
No, I'm saying if there was all the evidence points that he actually got shot.
But what evidence is there?
Huh?
Talking about no. I'll admit that when she walked out, you could see visibly on the ground puddles of blood coming out of her feet when the police officer was telling her to back up.
And the hospital said.
And the hospital said as well. And then on top of that, she did give us pictures of foot injuries as well. So if that was Torey,
also came out and said, "Yo, Torey shot me." So if
it was reverse, what would you have said and done?
I would believe.
Would you say you don't have
shot me? If this
would you say you don't care to listen to Meg's music anymore, or listen to what she has to say? Would you?
Yeah, I'd be like, "Yo, this broad's a clown."
No, Josh is going like, you going like, yeah, we need proof.
What you say?
You going, we need proof.
No, I'm not saying that we need proof. Or no. I'm just saying that if there's proof that like people at first were saying she didn't get shot. How can you get shot and not get a bone? So if Torey said, "Yo, like I got shot," and then people are like, "Oh, well, where's the proof?" And he puts pictures out, and then the hospital saying like, "Yo, this dude really got shot." I'd be like, "Yeah." And then he comes out and finally says like, "Yo, I was trying to protect her, but Meg Thee Stallion shot me." I'm like, "What's wrong with this chick? She's bugging. She's wilding." Like, I'm gonna listen to her.
Would you have the same energy you have for Torey right now?
I would, because it's like he shot, like she would have shot him. Like she shot him. Like, because we always joke about like, yo, like chicks could get away with doing XYZ with hitting the man. Like we always joke about Solange in the elevator. But if Jay-Z would have been the one beating up Solange, his career would have taken a big hit.
But why is that okay?
It's not okay. That's why we always bring it up.
That's why we're trying to say that Torey needs to be heard, because it's not okay.
But what I'm saying is that, yeah, but that what you just said isn't what Zim was just asking me. You're saying,
yeah, but it was a way to get you to the point you just arrived at.
I would try that.
I gotta have a chance to say it, and I think what's being skipped over here is there's the option, the multiple choice answer on the test that says not enough information. Like there's not enough info to answer this question.
And let me give you this real quick.
man,
if Bill Cosby's in jail right now for drugging women, Cardi B went and told you to get money. She drugged men. We could hustler. We still listen to Cardi B.
Yo,
that's what point does it stop?
Make it make sense.
Nah, that's funny but true. But listen, the man, like, I'm just taking a word for it that she got shot by Torey Lanez. I'm sorry if that upsets y'all.
No,
it doesn't upset me. Know why. It's a debate. It's not
upset me.
I'm just saying, like she said, yo, like I said, if it was some situation where they was like in some crowded club or some crowded restaurant and there's mad people mingling and it's like a party and something shade and it hit her, she's like, oh, so-and-so shot me, but I wasn't looking that way. Okay, that's different. Like, she's in the car with 3 other people.
She didn't say, she said Torey shot me. She didn't say how the situation happened, how it went. They even put something out there that he did the Eddie Murphy dance, girl dance. And
yeah, I don't believe that.
So what if not for nothing, she was drunk and she was angry and she reached for the gun and it went off. But then in her mind, this dude shot her.
I said that too. I said if that was the case, then she would be in the wrong. I told you that.
So why we can't? So we gonna see.
I'm choosing to believe the victim, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to be sorry.
I think that
You don't have to be sorry.
I think we should bring women on this show in a week or two and talk about it.
Sure, but that
should, because I think it'd be different energy.
No, I would say the same thing I'm saying now. I would say to a woman.
Which how is it different? This is gonna get posted. The energy is
it's gonna be. If you look at it, you're gonna see it.
What I'm saying is that I just think that like it's almost unfair for us to talk about this without a woman on the panel.
Oh yeah, agreed.
If you talk about that, I don't think that's what's challenging though. In my opinion, I think the question is not about the sex of the person that got shot. In my opinion, is not the most relevancy. I think anybody that got shot deserves the same justice as anybody else. I'm not gonna say that sex. I'm just saying that before you honestly like put me to hang, like, yo, just make sure you check the facts. That's it. Like, yo, if it's 2 more weeks for you to wait before you hang me, it's cool. But
if Torey did do it, he's gonna get.
I'm not trying to hang him. I'm just not.
That's what I think. And this is what my premise was: the whole weaponizing the situation that's going on in the country, in the movement, and the movement of which I 120% stand by, protecting Black women at all costs. And I feel when you're associating the sex, the melanin of this person, and the industry that this person is in. And I just don't feel like you would have that same energy if the roles were reversed.
Yeah.
And that's why I kept asking, what would you have done? And you answered it to your best ability.
It'd be a crazy.
I'll leave it at that.
It'd be a crazy story too. But yo, let's talk some hoops before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Because have returned.
First of all, Kansas City Chiefs are wiping the floor with Baltimore right now. This is crazy.
I can't wait to light Bobby up.
Get through this. Yeah, get back to that. Don't let this guy up.
I like it. So the Los Angeles Lakers, the real team in LA, have returned to glory and marched to the NBA Finals throughout a difficult bubble situation. You know what I'm saying? Losing one of our starters and still, making it happen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to LeBron. Shout out to AD. Shout out to Rondo. Shout out to Frank Vogel. Vogel doing a great job over there in the sidelines, playing his position, man. Dwight Howard getting back in the Wayback Machine, man. It feels so good to be a Laker right now. It feels so good. Shout out to Miami Heat for making it to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Great job beating those Boston Celtics, those damn Celtics. Man, how do you guys feel about the Lakers making it to the finals? What does this say about LeBron? What does it say about AD? What does it say about Rondo and Dwight?
So I'm gonna let Triz go first. I'm gonna let the guests go first.
Let me back up.
I thought Dot had something on this. No, I mean, for me, I think, look, man, I'm real with it. Like, I think for whatever the reason may be, people are just completely abysmal to the fact that LeBron is as good as he is. There's no other sport where you can show me somebody person that you can show me that has come from 18 into this stardom from day one and not only show up, but produce at the level that people said he could be. I mean, it just is crazy to me. There is nothing more like crazy to me than that. Like, we'll talk about the Kawhi. There was no pressure.
Why?
No pressure. There was nothing. Like, you could just go to school. If you didn't make it, you didn't make it. This guy had the pressure on his back since day one. And the inability for people like Sean Daly to simply just say, like, yo, this guy's an all-time great. No. I've ever seen. Like, honestly, he's probably the best player you've actually ever seen with knowledgeable eyes. It's a fact. Like, you'll say,
I'm not gonna say Jordan.
The key word was knowledgeable eyes. That's the key word.
Bro.
Knowledgeable eyes.
That you were 6 watching Jordy.
Can I go? Can
what was happening?
Can Torey Lanez speak? So like, all jokes aside, like, honestly, LeBron is one of the greatest players to ever play this game. Like, Triz and I, to give you a little history.
I couldn't even hear you. Was breaking up. Say that again.
Nah, I ain't gonna say it. You got one out of me. Triz, so me and Triz group chat and my boy Todd. Y'all met my boy Todd before. We go.
Yep.
LeBron debates. And half of it I be trolling. Like, I'm very, like, I'm aware. Like, I got LeBron, like, top 4 all time. But my issue is when they start and this ain't shot at Troy. Mm-hmm. And I said it to you guys today. When they start comparing to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, let LeBron enjoy his time while he's here. But once you start comparing to Jordan, then I got to start bringing out the receipts. Like, yo, of course, I didn't grow up to see Jordan the way I was able to see Kobe or see LeBron. But, like, I love basketball. I love to watch it. I love to play it. I love to analyze it. I love to talk about it. I could talk about it for 24 hours straight if you let me. But it's just certain things that I have seen Jordan do, that I've known that he's done, that LeBron just never has been able to do. And that
you're leaving at the table, and it's a very important part of the table.
So before you get to that point, let me bring up this point. You can answer this question for me. I need you to answer one. LeBron, top 4 talent from 2010 to 2018, best player in the NBA. My thing is, Pippen was nice, but Pippen was nice for the simple fact of what he did. Like, he's a defender. He could be a point forward. You could never throw the ball to Pippen and say, yo, go get 30 for me. After Kobe lost Shaq, you could never throw the ball to Pau Gasol and say, go get 30 and 40 for me. While LeBron does make a lot of these teams, sometimes I feel like LeBron fans have a bad habit of making it look like it's all him and just forget everybody else. It's a luxury to be able to have Dwayne Wade and say, yo, Dwayne Wade, go get 30. When it's time for me to check in, I'm going to check in and finish these guys. Kyrie, go get 40. Like, you forget Golden State series when they came back from down 3-1, they both averaged over 30 points a game.
But Don, what you're missing in all of this, bro, from Jordan to now, the quality of basketball is much higher. You're not respecting that, bro.
I don't think so.
It is. It's top to bottom. There is better talent. Not just logistically, period. There's better ways to find good talent, period. There's, all these times you talk about, there was guys that never made the league. Those guys make the league now. You find Kawhi Leonard goes to San Diego State and makes the league.
They win the NCAA tournament. Don't do that, Trez.
Yeah, they're good. Kawhi's good.
He's 6'7". To his point, we got the international game at an elite level. A lot of our best players in the league are international. Joker, Luka. You know, we got the Canadian kids now. Jamal Murray. Who else is from Canada? You know, Andrew Wiggins. Oh, he's not.
Okay, that's fair. You know what I mean? That's fair. That's very fair. Okay, you want to say that? So we can't do like a time travel of what Jordan would look like in 2020 or what LeBron like in 91. So we can't do that. You got that. That's fair.
But don't do the points though, Doc. I go with this thing where you keep saying like he didn't have someone they could do that with. Like, yes, maybe with LeBron, it's there's somebody that can score. The biggest knock on him since day one is that like he's not a killer. And now he's like, the guy's not the guy that wants to go out and get 40. If there was a flaw I could ever say, it was that. But I also can't knock you for that. Like he's a top 10 scorer.
He is, and I think that's where that's our disconnect comes from. I think me trying to show you or trying to get my point across to you so much that this is why I got Jordan #1. I come across like I'm taking away from LeBron. Like I don't know any guy.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying your comparative slate. You're trying to take away from LeBron because AD can score 30. That's not the problem. That's what AD does. He's been
Hold up, guys. Hold up. I think that what we've been talking about a lot in the group chat and other group chats that I'm in and just talking to people about LeBron James. So here's the only issue with, I think that with Bron, like listen, Bron is to me he's a top 3, 5, or whatever you want to say. But what I don't like is that when LeBron wins, just LeBron, and it's because of LeBron, and that's why we won, blah, 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 blah. But, like, you know, when he loses, it's everything around him is why he lost. So I think that we've reached a point where it's kind of like silly season, where it's like, like people who want to knock Bron are gonna like try to lift up his supporting cast and try to dim what he did or talk about other plays that were made in the game instead of what he did. And then people who love him will just like disregard the fact that yes, LeBron closed Game 5 up 3-1. When he was up 7, he scored the next 12. But AD got us that second game. That was a big pivotal game when Bron was really struggling. And I think that that's the only disconnect. And I think that if we're going to rate him properly, we have to find like a happy middle ground.
So my issue with that is, first of all, you're going to have to give me prime examples in LeBron's history and NBA Finals failures that someone else got the blame. Because in 2007, when he got swept, everyone just chalked it up. The Spurs was just better. Boom, boom, right? When they lost in 2011,
That's not letting that go. Wait,
it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to ever win the chip. I say
they wasn't gonna win that. But
I say what I do say is this. I say it's flawed because like they want to give it, like they just want to push it down our throats. Like took 2007, and then my pushback is, bro, like he played the Nets and the Wizards, who was under 500.
You see.
Hold on, Doc. We don't have to do that. Like, see, I think that when we talk about, it starts like in 2009 when they lost to Orlando. And yeah, Orlando had no real all-time talent, but they got hot, and he ended up losing. They want to knock his supporting cast, but it was enough to win 66. Then the next year they lose.
No, I don't. But that's my disconnect. I don't remember this team knocking.
Team either.
No. But hold on. So
go ahead,
wait. So the Bucks go out and kill it for 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
Is the MVP back to back.
Yeah.
You get out there and you lose to the Heat, and the first thing that said is, "Yo, it's his supporting cast. Middleton's his second best."
Thank you.
Thank you.
No. People have said. I think he needs no. Just thank you. I think Greek should have won 110%.
I don't think people were saying that.
No excuses. He should have won. But you look at the team and it's like, and back to your point, you say the way that the league is transitioning to. Well, I'll give you this real quick. James Harden, and these two guys know I give James Harden hell, but I respect his game. But listen, I respect his game and what he does for the simple fact that Harden makes the shit go. If he don't go, it doesn't go. There's nobody gonna get 30.
But
listen for a second. Let me finish.
Built around him.
But that's what I'm saying. That's a LeBron team, and not for nothing, he doesn't have that second guy that's of the same status of a Kyrie, AD. So he's lost.
You're missing the point.
He's lost to Golden State.
You're
lost to the best team of all time.
Stop. You're talking about a scorer not having complementary scorers. That makes no sense.
He needs another player. Like he's a point guard.
That's complementary role players do other things.
Hold on, guys. Let's let Zine get in here and get a little nibble on this.
All right, so I'll say this. First of all, congratulations to the Lakers. LeBron James, what he's doing. Everyone knows I'm very disappointed in Kawhi and what that transpired. I'll give LeBron James his flowers right now. But what he has accomplished is, to me, tremendous. It's historical. And yes, he has not had the final success, but for the last 11 years, he has got his team to the finals. And my pushback with this complaint about, the supporting cast gets to blame, I denounced that because in 2007, everyone knew the Spurs. 2011, he got killed. He stunk. Yeah, he stunk it up. But what transpired and where you guys and I think a lot of you guys' gripe is with the media, the analysts of how they do to protect them. The guy, when you go and lose to the Golden State Warriors the first time around and you lead both teams in points, rebounds, assists, that's when you can be like, wow, LeBron gave it all and Kyrie and Love was not there. Then he didn't get crucified for the GSW, the KD years, because everybody knew that team was just so much superior. So I don't know if you're talking about when they talk about Kevin Love or Chris Bosh and their reduction of when they was with the Wolves and the Raptors.
I'm talking about when he was. I'm talking about when he had. The reason why Kevin Durant is even on Golden State is to compete with LeBron. The reason.
Stop, bro. Stop.
The reason why Kevin Durant is not even on Golden State is because of LeBron. And Zim, you know that. You know,
that's true. I agree with that.
And not for nothing, what I'm trying to say is LeBron is good. He is good, but not for nothing. KD went to Golden State. If they would have lost, if they did anything less than a finals appearance, it was a bad season. Like, yo, you want all this praise, like, and it's not to LeBron, it's mostly to the fans. Like, he couldn't do it in the East. Now you said he couldn't do it in the West. Bro, he has AD. What the hell is he supposed to do?
But that's my biggest thing, Doc. And like what Triz says,
you
try to diminish LeBron James because he has teammates. But you didn't have that same energy for KD when he has Curry and Klay Thompson.
I did. I never expected anything less than a championship.
Stop. Because I don't know if y'all heard this famous line from this guy. The famous line from Dot is that the Golden State Warriors only got to this point because of KD. Okay? They didn't go 73-9 and win a ring before KD.
That's not what I said. What I said was the
73-9 team. Hear me out. For you to go that route, to me, it tells me this. Like, yo, it's persistence, it's fight. Like, you can't come here and tell me that we only beating LeBron if we have KD. Like, you're not going to diminish everyone else's value in that team. In my opinion, tell me that you need this one person to do it or it's bust. That's bullshit.
That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is KD's whole reasoning for Golden State is because he finally wanted to beat LeBron and be thought of as the best player in the NBA.
Which is fine. No. He went there because he did the same thing. He was trying to get a ring. And he realized.
Yeah, and who do you have to go to get the ring? Who do you have to beat?
But this is my thing, though. When you want to come and you want to say the things you're saying, bro, it's like, yo, like, understand this. You're talking about people that are scoring. Like KD went right, and Steph and Clay. It was always about scoring. It was who's gonna take less shots, bro. They took the back seat and let him do it. But don't play yourself and think that Curry and them couldn't go out here and get 30 a night.
That's not what I'm saying. My whole point of when I talk about Golden State, and that's why I'm happy you're finally on the podcast, so it's not that have the conversation face to face. 73-9 Golden State, I tell these guys every year. I tell them, yo, Golden State's going to the finals every year no matter what. Nobody's ever going to beat us. I say that we were going to be good without KD. While I acknowledge that, the reason for getting KD will help this with is now there's no question. Now you have no concern on who's going to win the finals. You know it's Golden State because
but what you tell me this, and this is real as a competitor, bro. Like, you tell me whatever you want, like, just period, business, whatever it is. Donald Trump said he got a small loan of $1 million from his parents.
Yep.
And I didn't. You know what I'm saying? If I go and I ever get the type of money he got, you going to tell me it's worth the same?
But let me ask you this.
No. Answer my question.
Answer the question. Listen, it's not. But that's not how it always works.
I don't hear none of that. You can give me all of that after you answer the question. When you get up every morning and you had to go to work and your pops work nice and you finally get to where we're at and Billy from down the road just showed up and he's here, is it worth the same? Tell me that.
So I'm gonna stop you.
Nah, I don't want to hear that.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because
so let me ask a question.
Wait. Let's not act like LeBron ever won a championship.
What I'm saying.
Loaded roster.
What is D-Wade in?
I'm not thinking LeBron. I'm talking about Kevin Durant. You're talking about
No, because I'm not going to do that, Triz. Because
let him off the hook, Josh.
No, I'm not
off the hook, but not for nothing. Let me ask you a question.
I completely disagree with what you said. If you want to compare KD start with $1 million, then Bron start with $950,000.
What?
Yeah.
So who is gonna ever beat Dwayne Wade?
Stop. The man joined a team that had won a ring and was 73-9.
And lost 5 players from that team that played meaningful minutes.
Yo, bro, just stop.
I don't know, Triz. I
We're
don't know.
gonna go add the second best player in the league, and this is my thing is with Josh. I don't think you know about this. Doc literally says like, "Yo, KD, it's all on him. He was the MVP. It was him. It was him." I'm like,
it was him. What the?
it was not him.
He's the biggest reason. It's everybody, but he's the main reason. KD.
Come on, Doc. Come on,
You
Doc.
remember that?
Yo, Doc.
I think my biggest thing is what we do is for some reason we elevate and prop up LeBron James' supporting cast, and then we tend to always diminish Michael Jordan's supporting cast because Michael Jordan did not start winning until what? He got a Hall of Fame coach, Phil Jackson.
He wasn't a Hall of Fame
Dennis
coach.
Rodman. Stop. He got Dennis Rodman, who
he won before Rodman.
He won 3 before Rodman.
I understand that. I'm just telling you the consistency of what was transpiring.
Yeah.
He got Scottie Pippen, who was almost, first of all, they won 58 games the year Jordan left. Scottie Pippen made first team All-NBA.
And what did they
one
do
call away from making the finals? Huh?
They were one call away from making the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right, but obviously.
So almost like a Kawhi situation.
No. I want to stick to MJ.
How can you say something about like $100 million when this summer the Lakers setup was supposed to be the number one option that the Lakers wanted this year was LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Kawhi Leonard. That was the number one plan to land that. Who would have ever beat that? They made it win 72.
You don't get to say that after you add KD to that team.
It doesn't mean.
So if you're going to do that, why we can't do this?
28 straight games. D-Wade, Bosh, and LeBron won 28 straight games.
Nah, that team wasn't 73-9 when you joined them. So just stop. It's not the same starting point.
If the same. Curry and Clay go to the Bobcats, what do you think is going to happen?
Hold on, Doc. We're both in the kitchen. We both have the same ingredients. I've made the dish before. You haven't. Who has the upper hand?
Bro.
Come on.
Answer the question.
It wasn't the same ingredients. It wasn't the same ingredients.
73-9 in the championship team ain't the same ingredients.
Come on, Doc. Like,
key players. If any team loses 5 key players, you're not going to be the same.
Don't tell me they lost 5 key players, bro. That nucleus is what made that go. Those 5 key players are insertable positions that they could.
So the Heat didn't keep their nucleus.
System was that good.
Oh, they had 11 new players on that team when LeBron got there.
What team?
So did Miami lose? Did Miami lose pivotal players?
So let me ask you a question.
Not really.
If Curry, Draymond, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson, along with KD, go to the Charlotte Hornets, you don't think they're going to probably go to the finals?
With Steve Kerr? Yeah, they are.
Now with anybody, they're going to go to the finals because they're just that talented. That's just what
you do. I just wanted to get that on record. Steve Kerr went for a nice good. I'm glad you got that.
He helps put it into perspective. But like, if you put the
So let me ask this. What do you guys think the finals is gonna look like?
4-1 Lakers. It's over. Clippers ruined it at all. 4-1 Lakers.
Why do you think Clippers ruined it?
Stop. And this is the other thing. The point where we just bend over and just give Kawhi like the red carpet. We give KD the red carpet. None of it's been earned. Don't give me none of that.
How is not earned?
To a system that was good, and he won. He went to the Raptors in a team that has always been good. You're disrespectful if you say that they haven't always been a bounce, a game, a night's rest away from winning.
It was the number 1 seed prior to Kawhi getting there.
They got swept in the second round.
By who?
Some bums, man.
LeBron.
Lowry talking about he got mental problems. He can't play.
Hey, yo, I can say this about LeBron, right? So obviously, Bron's not nowhere near his prime anymore, but in his prime, he's clearly the better player than a Kawhi or KD.
Yeah, for sure, but things change.
No, but yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is that if you look at, like, people wasn't slating the Lake, like I don't know what it is, But it's like there was always this doubt around this Lakers team. I never truly understood.
Oh yeah.
Like people said that they might, like in the ESPN poll, we were supposed to finish 4th. People saying that it's more likely that the Lakers miss the playoffs than win the championship. You know what I'm saying? We all seen the clip. I think that there was a lot of doubt around this team, and I think that what puts LeBron, and what I can say about LeBron that puts him above a Kawhi or KD, even though I think that KD is probably just as talented as LeBron, is what's in between the ears.
Talented as him?
No. I'm saying I think KD is just as talented as LeBron. In terms of like a guy at 7 feet, you can't guard him. He can do everything.
He scores. I think he's
Bron just has it right here, and I think that Kawhi for the first time felt some of that heat, where it's like
he never had it.
Huh?
The pressure's never been on Kawhi to like carry us there. It's never been there. It's never been there. I love Kawhi. He's good. Yo, don't get me wrong. Yo, great player. It's different though. It's different when we gonna look at you and go, yo, you gonna take us there, right? You got us, right? He's never had that. You can say what you want about the Raptors and say that was the case. No, it wasn't. You had emerging stars in Siakam. Fred VanVleet is a dog. I don't care what nobody says. He's
Lowry.
And you got Kyle Lowry, he's consistent. You can say what you want. He's had his downfalls. Nobody's ever opened up and given Kyle Lowry any homage, and the man's been nothing but consistent, bro. Like, the thing that kills me with Dot is you'll turn around and think, like, you'll question LeBron's ability to do something. You put Kawhi in a new role, in a role he's never been in, and all of a sudden it was, Clippers win. Clippers, why? When has playoff P ever taken us anywhere?
Kawhi, that's what I believed in. I seen Kawhi do it.
But I'm just saying, like, your premise for belief is skewed. Like, really just place it in like, it's Kawhi, so we're gonna win. My thing is with KD. KD, you tell me whatever you want, bro. You don't tell me about the skill set and some of that stuff. Like the way you ranted and raved about KD's stat line in that playoff series said everything to me, because that's something that LeBron did regularly and nobody wanted to scream about.
He's 3-9, bro. So you can't blame.
So what? KD's not. Yo, listen, bro.
You can't blame me for having doubts if he's been 3-9.
I don't want to hear
3-6.
The Nets, and for the 3 years they can't even get to the conference finals about anything short of it was KD. And I don't want to hear about the foot. I don't want to hear about none of it. I don't want to hear none of it, because this is the first time where it's going to be like, yo, you're a veteran player in this league. You're a cornerstone in this league, and it's on you to get us there. And
you talking to KD? You talking about
every
KD?
cop out in the sun. You had the coach. You had, the front office, a great front office, so it wasn't that. I gave you Westbrook because he's terrible. I'll give you that. But outside of that, there was no excuse. Yo, go get it done. I've seen come on, man. We see LeBron literally have JR on his coattail, and he's
2018.
Who KD hasn't taken? So hold on, I didn't know you was talking about KD because you had kind of like froze for a second. But what I'm trying to say is, what KD hasn't shown you. He went to the finals in 2012. He went to Golden State. He won 2, and he's gonna take them Nets to the finals.
Listen, bro, I'm not gonna disrespect him. I'm not gonna disrespect him, but the 2 in Golden State, no lie, bro. Like, you didn't make that. You jumped on the bandwagon.
It don't matter. He performed.
That's fine. But you're not gonna give that the same weight as going to a team creating an environment.
Dot, you agreed to the notion that LeBron won in Cleveland means more and weighted more than the 2 that he won in Miami.
Oh, for
you
sure.
Have said that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You have said that.
He gonna go get it to New Jersey, but it still means something. He gonna go to New Jersey. He gonna do his thing.
He's got to get a chip on.
Real quick before we end.
In a culture of his own.
So Josh and Doc, can I ask you guys something? Right now he is 3-6. Is looking probability-wise he's gonna be 4-6.
Yeah.
If he gets 6-6. Or 6-7, or whatever these next 3 to 4 years look like, are you guys then comfortable in saying, yo, he got 6 rings like MJ, and he actually went to more finals? Does it jump, or the perfection thing is where
I think
you guys
he
are
jumped.
stuck at?
I think he would jump, because it's like if he has 6, MJ has 6, and then LeBron got those 6 losses, it's like he made it. You know what I'm saying? he was in it. Like, you know, like we had that same argument with Joe Montana and Tom Brady. I said once Brady got to 4 and Montana's 4-0 and Brady was 4-2 at the time. But I'm like, yo, like he been there more. Now he surpassed him, got 6. But I always said that if Bron got 6, then that has to go over Jordan. But you know, my stance has always been Kareem is number 1.
Yeah, you have. All right, so Dot, the same question. If LeBron James get 5 or 6, does he then jump Jordan in your opinion, or are you lock and step on
Can
the
I
6?
can I give my explanation as to?
No, answer the question.
Give me an explanation. Hey, let him have his time.
That's what I mean, man. They don't-
Bullying him, man. Come on,
Go ahead,
can't bully him, man.
You're just acting like Meg Thee Stallion.
We need to answer the question first, and then you can explain what
Exactly.
you hide behind it. I hate when you hide behind the explanation.
He would always remain at number 2 for me personally, even though I'm aware that people might put him number 1. I just feel the total, complete domination that Jordan did to get those 6 rings. I just can't. And 2011 just kind of throws out number 1 of all time for me. It does.
I hear you, and I can get that. But I think there's something to be said that, like, yo, you went the 6 times you won it. But, bro, there was times you didn't get there. And it was just like, yo, I got there. I was always there. Like, it wasn't a question of that. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this. When did Bron get drafted? 2003?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't make it to 2007, and then he didn't make it again until 2014. Jordan got drafted in 1984. He made it 91 and never missed again.
All right, watch this. Jordan got drafted. What was he toted?
What do you mean?
What was he toted? What did we expect of him?
He's a number 3 pick. Expecting him to be the guy.
Yeah, but what did we expect of him? The guy what? Throughout
The guy out of UNC.
every year
he was
there's
like
a number
that
3.
guy.
Yeah, but every year there's a number 3 pick. That's not the point. The point is, what did we expect of him?
Right.
I don't think that matters.
Chosen one.
No, it does matter. It does matter. Yo, Josh.
I don't think it matters,
It doesn't matter. I think you gotta really rethink that.
But not for nothing. The Cavs.
Listen, between the head, pressure is real, bro. Pressure is
He
real.
was the college player of the year. You don't think there was pressure to perform?
No, bro.
I think that Bron
Adam Morrison was a college player of the year.
who?
Adam Morrison.
Yeah, but look how
that's a different era though. I think that what you want to say is like, I think that is a feather in Bron's cap that he did do very well with all the pressure, but in actuality too, he did get a lot of praise heaped on him. The only player I can really remember coming in with that kind of hype as a young kid was Shaq. Like, people expected Shaq to come in and just dominate and win championships, and he had that pressure. That's kind of why he went to LA. So I do commend Bron on the court and off the court for him to make the pressure really well. I've always said that. But I'm not going to diminish Jordan because the expectations weren't the same.
No, I'm not. But I think it's very important to remember, bro. Sometimes it's a lot easier to surprise people when they don't see you coming. Yeah. You understand? He came into his own teammates is on record saying like, "Oh, LeBron, yeah, he can back me up."
They said that about Jordan.
You're acting like he came into this team and everybody was buying into the fact that, yo, this 18-year-old dude's better than me.
But that's what they were saying about MJ. They said
that happens on every team.
Yeah, they said a 6'6" guy can't lead a team.
But you're not listen, when you come in and it's a sellout crowd every night, Josh, you're the primetime guy on your team. I come in this year, it's a sellout crowd because I'm here. You think you're gonna just let me get off?
I'm Triz.
I best of your best every night.
I understand that point.
No, I'm saying this to Dot because Dot's telling me he got drafted and when he didn't get it all. Yo, he was 18, bro. Yeah, he's not gonna win, bro. Like, he was facing the best defense. So yeah, his year.
So what was Jordan? So you think when Jordan scored 63 as a rookie, you don't think that following year he saw the best defense? He averaged 28. So after them first 10 games, you're like, damn, this dude's nice. I'm not.
Yeah, but you're misplacing like the placement and the errors and the time, bro. It's very different. It
doesn't. But we can't time. He dominated his era, so we can.
Yeah, I'm not taking nothing from that. But when you're trying to put a clock on when you won your first ring, bro, he was 18. Like, come on, like, stop.
bro.
Yeah, but the league is different.
That's my biggest thing.
Kobe,
The
Kobe
league,
got 21.
the league is
He's
different.
Shaq, bro. And it's
You know what I'm saying though, but all I'm saying is that like the league is different. Like the way the game is played is different. It's a lot of differences. So I don't think you can really go wrong either way. Me personally, I'm not gonna take nothing from LeBron or Jordan or whoever, but I do feel that I do want to get a little bit of conversation about what's gonna happen in the finals.
4-1 Lakers.
4-1 Lakers.
Yeah, I would love to say that. I think it's probably gonna be a 4-2 situation. Miami's a tough one. I think you like Jimmy Butler's a tough cookie. The wings on Miami is what's concerning. I think the pressure is on the bigs for the Lakers to really show up. And I don't know that JaVale really has anything. I think losing that starting spot to Dwight, most people don't see it. But like that's gonna be a shock to JaVale's like energy, coverage, like how he plays. He's that kind of person. And Bam, if Bam has Dwight, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him.
But what I do with what LeBron does, I feel like LeBron has his guys always locked in. Like that's the one thing I'll give the Lakers. From day one that team entered training camp, he had them laser focused, prepared for detail. LeBron is a leader. Like, he's uplifting. Like, he makes everybody feel like a family atmosphere. That's what I see from looking. And I just think what they have seen Hero and the kid Duncan do on the Heat, they're going to make that a point of emphasis for Danny Green, KCP, Rondo, whoever's in. Like, yo, Hero and Duncan are not going to be the ones to kill us. What happened against Boston, that's not happening against us. And and Jimmy, I respect his game. He's tough as nails, but I don't know if he has the offensive talent to take Miami Heat that far with a LeBron James guarding him.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I'm saying. They'll squeeze 2 out. I think they'll get
My thought process is I just watched AD, Dwight, and JaVale McGee make Joker look just like a guy. He had his moments, whatever, but he didn't reach all of his averages during that whole series that he's in foul trouble. And Bam Adebayo, to me, is the best player on the most consistent player besides Game 5 on the Miami Heat. And I feel like they're going to swarm him. Like that 6'8", 6'9", you're the same size as LeBron James. You're going against some houses. And like I said, I just have to see it. But I got the Lakers winning 4-1.
I think mobility is going to matter there, though, Zine. Because
I'm telling you, Bam Adebayo's nice, bro.
No, he is. I'm just thinking they got a lot of fouls from him. They got a lot of length from him.
Oh, yeah,
he was cleaning up the glass, versus Dyson. Grant Williams is very short, like 6'8", 6'9", just stocky. He just dominated that paint, and I just don't see that translating against the Lakers. And
I agree. I think in the 6 games, there's no way. Games 1, 2, 3, you might look good. Game 4, 5, that beat.
It's over. Yeah, you got to go from AD to then you got to go deal with Dwight just fouling you. Let's say they give JaVale a few minutes. JaVale's whacking you once. Tough to deal with. It's tough.
I'm not. You want to know what it is, man? I'm not like I like Jimmy Butler as like a locker room chemistry tough guy, but I'm not sold on him like his talent. I'm not scared. Like I'm more scared of Adebayo and like the white boys getting loose shooting than like if Jimmy Butler, if we want to just put KCP and Danny Green take turns one-on-one with Jimmy Butler, have at it, please.
But that's the thing, and I think you got to remember this: is Jimmy Butler's not taking your trap. He's not trying to make the game is never going to be about Jimmy, and that's the one thing you got to give him. Like he's going to come in. If you're going to disrespect him to that level, he'll get people involved. And I think there's a thing that a lot of people don't give him credit for, but his attention to detail exists. And if you look at his ability to score, where it's come from exactly that. He's not the most talented offensive guy. He came from playing defense and scoring nothing to this. And I think that, again, is something that is just like, again, is in the work. And you can't take that from him.
Nah, listen, I'm not saying that about him, but I'm not scared of Jimmy.
Can the Lakers offensively handle the zone?
What?
I'm just saying they're gonna force him to shoot threes.
Let me just say this, right?
They're gonna force him to shoot threes.
Zine, one thing from coaching I can take away is like people see a really athletic team and they want to zone you, but what happens is it's hard to rebound out of a zone. So like you got guys like Bron, Kuzma, AD, Dwight, Caruso cracks down, Rondo cracks down. It's a lot like Bam was cleaning the glass versus Boston, like you guys were saying. He's not gonna be able to do that in that zone.
And not for nothing, it's not Bron and Rondo are gonna get in that zone.
Yeah.
Like, alleys, get some threes, and it's like Tatum is the dog. Tatum and Brown, they're certified dogs, but they're not there yet where they're like, shit, let me figure out how to analyze this zone and let me try to attack it. They're more like, damn, I'm gonna go get mine, I'm gonna go score, and that is right into the Heat's hand.
And it's an even coaching matchup. I think Vogel's underrated, man.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I can't wait. Listen, man, all I know is that the Clippers choked, man. That's all.
He's mad happy Bron getting his fourth, man. He mad.
Yo, it's just crazy because I really just think like, yo, Doc was really out here on this Clippers thing, and it killed me because I'm like, yo, Kawhi is good, but like, what? How come we just give him the pass and it's so hard to give LeBron one like that? Like that was we just give them just like, yo, he's the best. Like, yo, bro, like you gonna win a ring on a team that's yours at some point here?
Yo, I just know that the Clippers, man. I just like, yo,
the Clippers are out the series.
Hold on. Nah, we not. Nah. See, now I got some backup against y'all two bums. Listen, so I used to tell them that Harold and Will will be the downfall of the Clippers because they can't defend.
Yeah.
And that's like I thought that it would happen versus the Lakers, how Bron hunts the pick and rolls, but man.
Yo, and I think that's crazy because I said this to Doc. I'm like, yo, like, what's crazy, right, is that we'll talk about the firepower and AD with Bron, but when he's giving Kawhi all this clout, it's like, yo, it's Kawhi, it's Mr. PG-13. Then you've got two, not one, but 2 6-man of the year.
And Marcus Morris. The good
I don't make excuses. Clippers. This is bad. This is like.
I put it on Kawhi Leonard, and I'm cool with saying that because he just won it last year, so I'm tripping but not tripping. I put it on him, and this is why I love LeBron James' leadership, the galvanizing, the communicating. Like I always tell this guy, Tristan, I have opportunity. All that handshaking and daps to each teammates, all that playing football before it starts, that stuff means something. Buying your guys Beats by Dre, that means something. And when Doc says, I don't have no rah-rah speech, that's a shot at, why? Like, no, I'm the coach. Our leader, our captain should be doing that. You know what I'm saying? And why did not do that? And I think why read in between the lines with that, and this is why Doc Rivers got fired today. And to me, I don't think that firing is justified because not for nothing, the bubble did happen. He had Kawhi missing 20-something games, Paul George missing over 30 games, Sweet Lou with his Magic City incident, Montrezl Harrell with the grandmother and missing time. Like I'm not making excuses, but there was a lot of fact of why there was no cohesiveness. And then there was a team that really didn't want to go to the bubble in the first place that had a lot of hesitancy in regards. So I'm not making excuses because at the end of the day, he was up 3-1. With double digits lead in all 3 final closeout games. But
let me ask this question. Let me ask this question about Doc Rivers, right? Doc, so you know what I'm saying? Doc is I think that Doc Rivers is a very overrated coach. And somebody brought this up on Twitter. Some basketball writer said that this is 2 chemistry issues with 2 different Clippers teams that he could not figure out. That he's supposed to be like a player's coach. The Clippers, the Lob City guys had bad chemistry, and then this group had bad chemistry. And I'm sure now that he's fired, he'll start leaking little stuff to the media about stuff that went on behind the scenes. Like these guys are out of control.
As he should.
Yeah. So I don't think Doc's a bad coach, but I think he's a little bit overrated. Where you look at a guy like Spo had won with a super team where he had to manage egos and stuff like that. And now he's back with a team that's not superior talent-wise, but is put together well and plays the game the right way.
I can't give Spoelstra that. I'm sorry.
Oh!
I'm sorry. Because Because current day, like, I got to give a respect to Pat Riley in the rosters that he puts together, that he provides. Jimmy Butler, Bam, these guys are resemblant of the teams he always puts on the floor. You know what I'm saying? The resiliency, the nuns, the heroes, like, yo, that's that. I can't give that to Spoelstra.
Yeah, but they were showing that Riley, right out the gate, made a lot of bad decisions, like giving Hassan Whiteside $88 million.
No, I don't think it's a bad decision at all.
Rectify it by shipping them off.
But what I'm saying is that, so now they're in a bad situation, and you got to give the staff credit for developing those players, because they weren't highly regarded players.
I mean, they weren't, but it was also like, I think it's like anything else though. I think Spoelstra's doing what he can with what he has. But I think that if you take Jimmy Butler away from that team and what he was able to do with those guys, Jimmy from day one has always said, even in Philly, and he was open about it, of like, yo, like, guys don't want to work. Like, they don't want to do the work, and nobody wants to call them out about not doing work.
Right.
He got with an association that is about work. And people bought into doing the work. And that's why it's no surprise that you go get a guy like Andre Iguodala, and you stop talking to me about guys like Udonis Haslem, and you talk about real guys that are really on the tail end of their careers, but they put in work, and you're going to respect it. It's contagious, bro. Everybody's putting in work but you. You would look crazy.
Good question.
Philadelphia 76ers.
Philly. Arizona University.
Where he learned that championship pedigree to hit them threes in the game 6.
Oh man, I'm out of here, man.
I don't know that he actually has that much.
Yo, listen, guys, I'm gonna post this tomorrow morning around 7 to 8. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna chop it up, try to timestamp it and stuff like that. And Triz, text that little chat your like tags and like info what you want in there, and I'll put that in the bio.
All right, good looks, bro.
You already know.
Man, it was a pleasure having you, man. Real one.
Appreciate
All right, bro. Be smooth, fellas.
Y'all be
All right,
easy.
Joe.